That works.
Works for now.
Sorry.
Let me know.
Sorry, NVIDIA.
Welcome, chat. Welcome to the stream. Victor.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're going.
We're live?
We're live.
Oh, okay.
We're at another location today. Yeah, we're at an undisclosed location this time. I won't say where we are, but we're not at my normal pad. The Chudcast has gone mobile.
Mm-hmm.
That means we can't be shut down.
Yeah, it's the only way to keep the pirate radio.
Anywhere there's an internet connection and the will and the power, we'll get it done. We'll get the word out to you fine people at home.
And a computer.
Well, I figured out I could put everything into one, besides the monitor and the mic stand, everything fits into just one
travel suitcase.
So, yeah, and we're way late. I think I told everyone 11. That's when we were originally planning on
11 Pacific.
That's the thing is, the reason it was so early is, one, we had a Hobbit Hole breakfast this morning, produced by the man Jensen himself. Biggest fan of, Can I get some clapping emojis in the chat,
X,
please?
Press X.
Is there anyone in the chat? I had to put Victor on timeout already. I know he's watching. Is anyone in the chat, Ben?
Just Victor's timed out.
Oh, no. They're like, Mike's on one already. It's
that kind of
It's
day.
a free speech podcast, But just a lot of weird emojis, you're getting shut down. You're getting it shut down real quick, It was exhausting. Plus, I was frustrated because the stream wasn't working. So I was like, we got to shut it down.
You don't need any of your shit right now.
Yeah,
Victor.
not today, Victor. Not today.
Or Victor.
He's a good kid. Victor, I love you. Tune in. I want to hear what you have to say in the chat. Just hold on. How many people are watching right now? Anyone?
One, just Victor.
That's probably us watching.
Yeah.
But if you're watching this after the Chudcast is over, welcome, and thank you for checking it out post Chudcast. We're trying to keep it as evergreen as possible. We got to remember that, even though we're live. There's a lot of people that watch it after we've gone live on it.
Yes.
So we have to keep that in mind, kind of thing.
Very true.
I have a lot of terrible topics today.
Good. So do I.
It's gonna be a bad day.
My first topic, this is just coming to me right now, is that when we do the Chudcast at your place,
Yeah.
I usually look slightly to my left
Uh-huh.
to my
Yeah.
what would that be, 9 o'clock or no 11 o'clock?
It'd be your 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's where the camera is today. So,
That's
I'm
good.
trying-
You should be looking at the
usually
camera.
It's over here completely to my left. So I look slightly that way. Or I'm looking at Mike.
We could have totally put it on that poster right there. Now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm staring at it.
Next week.
That's my setup at home is I just put it in a mounted frame on the wall. We keep it pretty classy here on the
Trying
Chudcast.
new things all the time.
Very
Yeah.
high-tech.
It took me a while to set up today.
We want people.
Got a bunch of junk.
We want people who watch the Chudcast, the repeat viewers. We want them to stumble upon an episode every time. They're like, "Have I seen this one yet?"
Yeah. So, but regardless, I don't think any of mine are star of the show. First thing we should talk about. This is a nice light. This is my lightest topic.
Okay.
Some of my topics get kind of dark today.
That's not
Might have to have a horror segment here.
Spoopy.
There's a lot of murder topics going on today. That's not a good time. But
How about before that, the makeshift hobbit hole that
Okay.
I made you guys? How'd you guys feel about it?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I understand.
It was good.
There was, I didn't do it justice because there was a lot of components
Yes.
missing.
Yeah.
I tried making fresh hash browns, and I don't know what I did wrong, but they were not very good.
It felt like.
So it was just the cheddar roll and the egg.
Yeah.
Did you
Fried
try those hash
inside.
browns?
Yeah, they weren't good.
They didn't look good either.
No.
I'm
I
sorry.
think I might have put too much oil in the pan, and the
Maybe.
and the dry potatoes just soaked up all the
Yeah.
oil. Because
Yeah.
they didn't fry a golden brown. They got really gray and sick looking.
Seriously gray.
Yeah.
I've never seen something so gray.
Very sickly.
The thing when I was eating it, the thought and feeling I had was this is what you eat before you go to work in the coal mine.
Yes.
This is what your wife makes. She's smoking a cigarette. It's turn of the century, and you got to go to the coal mine. And you're gonna get the black lung. but that's like a hearty breakfast that's like pretty easy to throw together real quick, and it gets the job done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
And I have to make some corrections on when I previously talked about the Hobbit Hole breakfast. I got it wrong.
Oh.
There was no sausage served with the Hobbit Hole breakfast at Denny's.
you ordered sausage.
I was like mixing two different breakfasts from two different places.
Yeah.
I was thinking of like Cracker Barrel or something like that.
Gotcha.
So it was just the Hobbit Hole itself, and then it was like 2 strips of bacon, and then like hash browns that had bacon and cheese cooked in them.
Got it.
So it was still hearty nonetheless.
Yeah,
but
most definitely.
There was no sausage with it, so that was
Gotcha.
That was good that I didn't have to go out on like a sausage safari
Sausage safari.
to find this exotic sausage.
We're gonna rename the podcast that.
Sausage
Safari.
I want to go before.
Trying to find this, Shire sausage out there.
We're gonna make like a whole video where we make those. I think.
Okay.
I think we're gonna have like a whole thing. So that was just a dry run. That was a first run at it, and we'll get to
Successful first run.
yeah, regardless. But my first topic today, and I might be alone on this island that is this topic, but the other day I was driving in my car, and I like to listen to the oldies station, and I feel like the oldies station when I was a kid was like all 50s and 60s music, and now it's like you might even get an 80s song in there now. Like they've really, you could tell as time has passed, the oldies,
the radio station's aging as well.
exactly. Because I don't know if in the 80s they were playing like 20s music. I doubt it. I feel like they just didn't have oldies music yet on the radio. I feel like it wasn't until like maybe the late 80s where they started to be like, okay, like it's okay to listen to old music now. I feel like people are all about new music
It was all about evolution.
yeah. So you're starting to get a lot more 70s songs, and like driving around in Arizona in the afternoon, you get this like nice. I like hated it when I was a kid. This like twilighty, like the sun is going down, but it's still really hot. Still get some sun in your eyes, kind of thing. But the sky's a little reddish, and like everything is like brown or red. You get that vibe going, and I love that time of day now. But when they start playing a lot of 70s songs, I really hate that time of day. Because it's like, I feel like I'm in the 70s. Because like everything's got that washed out color and everything. And they started playing a song. And I realized it's a song I love. It's Mamma Mia by ABBA. And
Mamma Mia.
Exactly.
Based off the hit movie.
We're getting to that. And I realized I can never enjoy ABBA again without people thinking I'm just a huge fan of that movie.
Yeah.
I realized that being a fan of that band, because I've always liked ABBA. You can't deny that they were a hit machine, a Swedish hit machine. And now people will just think I'm really into musicals. And I hate musicals. I hate musicals. Everything I hate about life is in musicals. There, I said it. last time on the Chudcast, I said like some bad stuff about cops, and I'm like, I'm gonna
Cops
go.
are assholes.
I'm like,
I remember I rewatched that and I laughed my ass off.
I need to go back in and like delete that and
You're like,
repost
cops
it.
are assholes. And
I'm
then
like-
it's like quiet for a second. You're like, there, I said it.
I was like, it's out there.
Every community
It's out
out
there.
there.
Yeah, the people that like musicals and the people that like
Now,
cops.
they're polar opposites.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
both
They could
hate-
unite together.
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
bring them together. But yeah, I realized like I love ABBA. And
I've never been like a huge fan. Like their shit's catchy, but
you have to like it has to hit you at the exact right time. But I realized like, wow, I really appreciate ABBA, but people are always going to think, especially people of my generation, which
you
is the
don't
most
understand that ABBA was a band.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the most important, like my peer group, which is the most important group that I'm going to be talking about music especially with. Is only going to think that I like it because of that movie. Because that's the only time they've ever heard that song.
Yeah. Hey, do we have people in the chat already?
Yeah, we got 2.
Hey.
Victor's back and John's now.
John's there?
Okay, so I made some upgrades to my mic situation to try and sound like less
Technical
robotic.
question. John's here, so
So-
it's a technical question time.
Yep. So if you could let me know if it's kind of help reduce the robot noises.
I think if you talk quieter into the mic.
I don't know if I can.
I know, but you have
So
to
excited.
talk like you're talking into someone's ear. that's right next to you. Ben has to yell because he's not mic'd up.
Hey!
Not yet, at least.
No.
We'll have to get you like a lapel mic.
We need to get a lapel mic for our guests.
We should all have lapel mics on.
Honestly, good idea.
You know what I mean? I think I brought it up on the Chudcast before, but Gary Vaynerchuk, how he doesn't give his guest a he'll like talk to him, and I'm like, it makes you seem so full of yourself.
It does like
give the guest the lapel mic, and you don't have one.
Yeah, you just yell. Speaking of guests, this is an impromptu topic, but I was at a KFC drive-thru last night. Shocker. And the guy it was like one of those KFC Taco Bell combos.
Yeah.
And I just had to disclose that because a part of the story like won't make sense if I don't say that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm like ordering my food. I ordered like my meal, and the guy's like talking. He was very well spoken, you know, and he asks, he's like, can I get you like an iced tea or a Sierra Mist to drink? Which first I'm like, does he recognize like my order? Like, because those are usually two things I like to get. And I was like, no, I'll take a Baja Blast. And he like paused for like 2 seconds. He was like, wow, I was way off. And like, and he had good banter.
He's just having fun with it,
for being a
you know?
drive-thru guy. And I like, when I got to the window, I choked, but I wanted to ask him like, hey, do you do a podcast? And like, if he said no, I'd be like, do you want to be on one tomorrow morning?
Hell yeah.
Featuring Taco Bell guy.
How many people watch? Like 3 sometimes.
Yeah. Good day 5. So like, I think we should experiment with like getting random guests.
Randos.
Since Ben is the only friend that ever wants to be on the podcast, like none of our friends want to be associated with us. Mm-hmm. So like, we'll just start getting random people who have nothing to lose to be on our podcast.
Yeah. I mean, like, we can talk to them and ask them anything. Yeah. Because we don't know anything about them.
We have no preconceived.
So the interview possibilities are endless.
I think we should.
You know?
I think it'd be fun.
That'd be a lot of fun.
We could have a guy from Taco Bell, KFC sitting here right now.
Yeah, but then they come in here, they see all these wires, they're going to be like, what kind of podcast is this? Like, they're going to be like worried. Like, I thought this would be a little...
This is just a front to get me into your house.
I thought this would be a little more legit, you know?
You only want to be my friend for my Taco Bell KFC discount style.
Yeah, by the way, John, text-to-speech does not work today. You guys can donate if you want, and your message will appear on screen, but there will be no sound. But Ben is our chat man today. He's floating, head in the clouds, right above us over in this area, like very godlike. I should have put like a cloud background and had you up there. And he is our chat monitor today. He's going to try to keep out of the conversation as much as possible. Your job is, you're walking a thin line, Ben.
Am I on mute from here on forward? I can mind.
You shouldn't even be talking right now.
That was too much.
Learn sign language. You can be our official sign language guy. I think you can see that in every camera.
Make sure you get that in both pictures.
But no, it's great having you again, Ben. We missed you during the last one. It took a lot of the soul out of it, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have 3 people here. Yeah, Ben.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because sometimes Mike says something and I'm like, dude, that went over my head. Like, I got fucking nothing for that. So like, it's always nice to have a third person.
It's like a Venn diagram. There's like music things that we know, and there's sports things that you guys know, and then there's like trash people things that we know. You know, so
I don't know the trash people.
You're not a trash person.
I hung out with you guys.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll bring you down there, but
Can't wait. Can't wait to become trash.
yes.
We'll all live in the trash someday.
But Ben is also rocking the very stylish Chudcast t-shirt, available for $29.95. Come to my house and I will hand you one through the door.
I gotta say, comfy shirt.
Thank you. Okay, I went for a little bit better quality of a shirt.
It's a nice shirt.
I love the color. I love the way the Chudcast logo turned out on there. It doesn't have the background Chudcast. You know, on the normal logo it has Chudcast twice.
Like the shadow?
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I decided against it for that.
I agree.
That's perfect.
It is. It's a nice summery color.
And I have a big box of them, and I don't even know what to do with them, honestly. Or like, if I were to sell them, who would buy one, and how much to charge for them?
Send a self-addressed stamped envelope.
Yeah.
to your new P.O. box.
Yeah, we could do like bad unboxing and stuff. P.O. box.
That's right.
But yeah, it's I love the way they turned out. I've been giving them out to fans of the show. John, if you're still watching, you will get one next time I see you. I'll keep one in your size for you because you're a good man. I gave one to my dad, and he wore it out to dinner last night when he visited me at work.
Good man.
Yeah.
5-star restaurant?
Yeah, you know it. And he was wearing it because it was also Casual Friday, so he wore it to work as well.
That's bold.
He also shared one of the Chudcast. He's a hype man. He's a Chudcast hype man.
He's your biggest fan, which is cute because he's your dad.
We're getting the word out there. I mean,
well, here's a good chance to get the word out right now real quick. Victor wants to know, in your guys' words, what is the Chudcast about exactly for new viewers?
that's a great question, Victor, because we've explained it before, but like we never really we should probably give a little warm up at the beginning of every Chudcast because there's gonna be new people watching all the time.
That's true.
But the Chudcast is just me and my buddies. Me and Jensen started it about a year ago. We started it.
Yeah.
And we just brought it back. We went on a long hiatus. This is season 2, but it's just, we always, him and I, when we hang out, we just shoot the shit and we like bullshit on a lot of topics, and we like always said from like when we were in high school till now, like, why don't we record this, or like why don't you know. It's one of those things where we think that we're so good.
Yeah, exactly.
like
anyone can do it.
Yeah, and it's like all these other people are doing it. Like, we have something to say. Why aren't we doing it?
I think what kind of, I mean, Mike said it best. It's a show about nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like whatever we feel like talking about, we talk about, and we kind of just get it.
We have our own platform.
We're very, we give layups to each other all the time because, I'm like, I know how I feel about this. I'm pretty sure I know how Mike feels about this. So I'll just put it out on a T forum.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we know what's going to happen, and it makes for good conversation.
Exactly.
I think when it really picked up that we should do a podcast together was I was having a rant one night at my last house about how I think blood donation is a scam.
Oh yeah, that is how it took off.
And my fiance's friend, who was our roommate at the time, was like, I would pay to listen to you and your friends talk about shit like this all the time. I'm like, well, you don't have to pay. We'll make it free.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I don't think she's ever listened to it. So
and
inspired, and she was the inspiration, and she didn't even show up.
Exactly. Well, that's fine. She doesn't. That way, she won't be asking for royalties.
Exactly.
Or T-shirts, royal T-shirts. But also, Victor, the origin of the name Chudcast is. Well, obviously, cast comes from podcast because this is a podcast, but a chud is basically a low-life, undesirable person, someone that makes bad decisions, doesn't care about others. It's like a scumbag.
It's not so much like the sad scumbag. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How you would associate a drug addict. Yeah. It's more of just somebody who has potential and doesn't do anything with it.
Exactly.
And just kind of sludges their way through life. That's what
So that's why what we are, or what we see ourselves as being, is not the epitome of society, good citizenship, but we're doing our best, and we are the way we are, and we think the way we do. So it's don't come here for totally informed opinions, but come here for opinions in general.
So something I've thought about with having a theme to a podcast, I've thought it's got to be really hard if you have a theme to constantly
it puts you in a box
with new material. With this, we just get on, we just talk.
If we tried, easy. I know us. If we tried to do that, we'd stray from the direction way too much.
We couldn't do it. 1 week it would be about, I don't know, it'd be about sports, and then 3 weeks later we'd be talking about some kind of mole people conspiracy or something, and someone would be like, what does this have to do with baseball? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we'd be like, well, you missed last week's episode where we transitioned into it.
Yeah, exactly. A big thing I wanted to talk, I have a couple video game topics here. Do you want to hit me with the topic first, or?
Yeah, let's just.
We already did my Mamma Mia one.
Let's just.
So.
Yeah, I think.
Here we go again.
I think all of our topics are just. I don't think it's a strong week for topics.
That's fine.
Considering we had 2 weeks.
We're getting back on the horse. I know. Well, like,
the chat's coming through with some stuff too.
it was a blessing.
Then if we get anything good in the chat,
Is Kamikaze Kid here yet?
stop us and.
Not yet.
I hope he
The
turns
chat
in.
Wants to know, real quick, what is, like the Spark Notes version?
Mm-hmm.
How come blood donation is a scam?
Yeah.
Dream Squeeze is asking.
Oh, Dream Squeeze is up.
Dream Squeeze is up.
She didn't show up till like
That's
4
true.
o'clock.
She's waking up
That's
early
true.
today. Yeah. So just your layman, your quick little version of why
The video is still up where we talk about it.
Is it up?
The Chudcast is still up from that.
Yeah, that's from season. That's a season 1 topic.
It's an OG.
Yeah. So, in just a quick.
We got really bad. Like,
Quick rapid fire. Why blood donation is a scam?
it was terrible.
Is because when you donate other things like sperm and plasma and stuff and bone marrow, they pay you for it. Blood donations, they just say like, oh, it's just this is a good thing to do for other people. So
I'm thinking of all the things we said, and it is like it was like a beautiful stream. Like people
great,
talked to me about it like a lot after we posted that video.
that one,
Yeah.
the blood. So, but it's bullshit because what happens is you donate that blood for free, you don't get anything, and then the hospitals and stuff, they turn around and they add that to the bill that they send to the insurance company. So they're making money off of something you gave them for free, kind of like what Goodwill does.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's bullshit. I think you should be able to sell your organs too. It belongs to you. Don't do it for free.
Not to like completely say the exact same things we said in that one, because I want people to go back and check that one out. But
that is a good one.
We got into like we were like. It's like I started going off. I like Jensen.
Now it's all coming back.
Okay, Jensen told me that was what we were going to talk about. So I was like, I'm going to make it even more of a conspiracy. And I started saying like it was a front by the orange juice cookie manufacturers, and like the blood and the orange juice were the same thing, and like they made the orange juice from the blood. Like it got really dark. And also we were like, what's the difference between blood types? No one knows. Like it was a bad time. That was the most like conspiracy driven one we've ever done.
I think we were getting emails from InfoWars.
I should repost some of those like Chudcast classics.
We should revisit
because a lot of my community doesn't know about the old Chudcast videos, and there's some gems in there.
Dream Squeeze just said so. Look at the old ones.
Yeah, please, Dream Squeeze.
How many
Thank
did we
you.
make? Like 7, 8,
10.
9, or we made 10, but the 10th one was a lost episode.
Okay.
We made 10, but the 10th one was the lost episode.
Okay. So, I don't even remember which topic I was going to talk about, but I'll just go.
Thank you for bringing that up, Ben. That was like
No, I
just asked, and you
I'll
got
talk-
some new viewers from your.
That's
talk
the
about
perfect
that.
gem.
I will talk about that any time.
it's the perfect gem from the Chudcast past.
So,
Past cast.
you guys ever read or hear something and you interpret it in a different way, and the way you interpret it is absolutely like just hilarious? It just sends you spiraling in like laughter.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other day, this is like your topics. All my topics are garbage, so this is just something I thought you guys would find funny.
Tune in for more garbage.
Even the host thinks.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with the garbage.
We hate being here.
So, anyway, I was driving, and you know how apartment buildings, they'll have a huge old sign next to the sidewalk saying the name of their apartments and stuff? Well, I drove past one in downtown Phoenix, and it was called Sand Painter Apartments. And I read it as Sandpaper Apartments. And I don't know why, but I was like crying so hard because I was laughing. I was like, Sandpaper Apartments
Oh my
is
goodness.
the dumbest name for an apartment building.
Like, I want to move there.
And then I realized that wasn't even the real name. Like, I read what I wanted to see.
Like what?
So-
Like was there like a sandpaper factory on the land before they built the apartments? Like what? What is that a
Sandpaper-
callback
I
to?
don't want to live at the
Yeah,
Sandpaper
sounds
Apartments.
abrasive.
Instead
Yeah,
of paint, they just put sand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't like
floors-
sand.
The floors are all grippy. You know? No carpet, no tile, sandpaper. So,
They pass the savings on to you.
Exactly. But it's I can't think of like a really good example of that, but I feel it happens to me every day.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, this is what I want to see because it'll make me laugh.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna choose to see that.
It's like those like posters. If you ever see, it's like the first word and the last word of the sentence. are the right letters, you can actually, like, your brain will draw the connection and you can figure it out.
Yeah.
That's probably just like that, of like it's the same amount of letters.
Your brain's just trying to think faster.
Sandpaper, when you see that combination.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably, I've seen the word sandpaper more times than I've seen sand painter.
Yeah.
So you paint sand.
Can you?
A lot of people do that. They'll like mix sand into their paint, and then like the wall has a texture to it.
Oh yeah, I guess. I was thinking
my bathroom at
like
my parents' house is like that.
To like the ground with sand on it. You're basically
it's gonna glob up.
You're just picking up sand.
You're just
in a really
introducing sand to your brush.
Let's ask your fiance. She can do some sort of
paint sand.
We'll do paint and sanding, sand
I don't
painting.
want to ask her because then she'll be like, "Well, you know, actually," and I was like,
I've tried this for a while.
Because no long distortation about sand paint.
Yeah, that's that topic. Let's get away from.
Yeah, like
Frank's here.
Frankie Romo, or is it Frank the Dragon?
No.
Frankie Romo. Strawberry Jesus.
Jesus.
Speaking of Frank the Dragon, another guy I watch, streamer on YouTube, chillest guy. We're like, he has a similar stream to me where it's like just chilled out vibe. And I was on his stream last night.
Except for yesterday.
I was so mad at yesterday's stream, dude. I was about to shut everything down.
I know.
I can't imagine that game getting much harder than that. Did you see that boss? It was like almost comical. I'm playing Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Jensen doesn't watch my streams.
I know.
But Frank was I was watching Frank's stream, and he was like, "What are you doing?" Or like, "What are you up to?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm setting up everything for the Chudcast tomorrow, or I'm setting up everything for my podcast tomorrow." And he goes, "Oh, the Chudcast?" Like, he knows. Like, people are starting to know. You know?
Frank said that?
No, Frank the Dragon.
Dragon,
yeah, said it, and that's like, I've never met that guy in real life. I appreciate him though.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good man. But yeah, what are you laughing at over there? Is Frankie saying something?
Frank says this has to be the worst use of second cam ever.
I've only used second cam one more time in my streaming career.
I don't know.
I could just yank the cord right now from behind the computer, just yank it down,
It
or I could put
might
another
be.
one on me. Like I could just have like close up mic face and normal
What's
mic.
going on with the dogs? That way
Yeah.
pet and lifestyle.
Oh, I could just throw one in the crate right now. We'd get more views for that.
Sleepy dog.
Be like,
Someone Google sleepy dog.
Ben couldn't come in today. We got Cora operating the chat. Cora, take it away.
That'd be madness.
That would be madness. Where was I going with that? No, I wasn't even talking about any of my
We got off
topics.
topic like always.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Maybe 3 people isn't a good way to go. We do
No,
get
I
off
love
topic.
that.
We do get off topic.
It makes everything go, or it makes, there's no dead air when you have 3 people.
The chat just keeps talking shit
I know.
about me, so I gotta keep bringing it up.
My chat loves Ben.
Yeah.
Obviously, Beans is his nickname, as we've discussed. I hate it because it's not. It in no way reminds me of him,
No.
other than the fact that his name is Ben, and that's one letter away from being Bean.
Mm-hmm.
But that's as close as it gets. He's not a bean, okay?
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll stick up for you, bud.
Anyone may mention that there's a movie going on in the background right
Yeah.
No.
They will because
They
they
will.
It's like your Easter egg. You just totally just threw it out.
You gotta leave. You gotta leave.
now. If anybody can guess what movie's playing in the background, I'll give you a shout out.
Shout out. We're accepting.
Best I can do.
Yeah, we're accepting donations today, people. But the text to speech will not work, and you will not hear your donation noise. I'm gonna say that like throughout the chat because I would hate for someone to, like John, our friend John. I don't know if he's still watching, but he was like, "I'm gonna drop like $60 on a text to speech, and it's gonna be like just a bunch of letters, and then it's gonna read it out. Like it'll be like the alphabet,
Yeah.
A B C D E F G, and it's like." Don't ruin my stream like that, John. And also don't spend $60 on a donation.
Yeah.
$1 to $3 donations tops, people. You have anything going on over there?
Yeah. Frank said it's because my head looks like a bean.
Frank is
moving
brutal.
on. Yeah,
Frank,
keep
you'll
going,
get
keep
your
going.
Frank, you'll get your episode one day, okay? You don't need to swing in too much on ours.
Get your new topic.
I want to talk about, this is a video game topic, but it also can go into other realms too.
Blood conspiracy.
Into blood conspiracy, but basically when Nintendo, you remember I showed you the Nintendo Direct the other day where they introduced the Castlevania guy, and we didn't watch the whole thing because we were just watching the meat and potatoes, but in the rest of it they showed like a title screen, like the screen that says like main game, 1 player, multiplayer, you know, like versus mode, like all the mode screen.
Okay.
It showed that, and it had one mode on there that was blurred out, like pixelated, and it was probably like Nintendo wasn't ready to talk about it, or it
Nude mode.
no close
It's
mode.
pixelated because the mode is pixelated.
Exactly, pixelation mode.
That's right.
But you know, obviously they're not ready to talk about it yet or release
Yeah.
it, but they still wanted probably a little bit of hype built
Yeah,
up about
teaser.
it. Like, oh, what's that? You know,
Big
but
head mode. Bring it back.
No.
people are so like quick on the internet nowadays that you can't do stuff like that because someone took, I don't know how much time this would take, but took the time because it was a like fade in fade out pixelization, so like it was a moving pixelization.
Okay.
So someone took the time to depixelize it,
Did a bunch of still shots.
yeah, and morphed it all together and found out that it's called spirit mode. And so Nintendo didn't say anything about like what this mode's going to be. But everyone's like thinking, "Oh, well, they killed Mario and Mega Man and Luigi and all these commercials for this game. It's probably going to be a mode where it's like a one-player mode where you like go through the game and have to like save people's souls and stuff." I'm like, "Isn't that so speculative? Like what if like I feel like people, and this is where it becomes more general of a topic. I feel like people guess how something's going to be. This happens with video games a lot, but it happens in real life too. They guess how something's going to happen, and then when it doesn't happen that way, they get pissed off, as if they were promised it or something. When really it was all speculation, you know, in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
The one thing I've never understood about video games and movies is why they announce things so far in advance.
Yeah.
And they like sprinkle features out.
Yeah.
But they announce games like a full year, 2 years. Like think of how long like Red Dead Redemption 2's been announced.
Oh yeah, long time.
Why not just announce it like 2 months before it's going to come out?
Yeah.
Like, do you think the hype is really going to be that much lower?
It might even be bigger.
I think so too.
Well,
Like-
I think when Fallout 4 was announced, it was only announced a couple
Yeah.
months before the game dropped, and they were able to sell so much like merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
in that small period.
Exactly.
Because it's like the hype train came to the station without you even know. Like it came to the station.
You
like,
didn't know you wanted it.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, they were able to cash in hard.
And they sold a ton of copies of that game.
Yeah,
And it wasn't even the best Fallout game.
No, it wasn't. And I,
You know?
I got the pre-order, like the whole big special
Yeah.
edition Pip-Boy pre-order and stuff, just because it's like the game's like 4 months away.
Exactly.
You know, it's just, it was so exciting. But
And there's always been games where they like will say they're going to put this in the game and then they can't make it work.
Yeah.
And then people feel robbed. But I think it's different when like the game designer says, "Hey, this is going to be in there." And then maybe you pre-order it and then it's not in there. That's frustrating.
No, man,
But
it's
if you just make up how something's going to be,
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's going to be this mode."
Well, right.
And then it's really frustrating. So I'm wondering when Nintendo's going to say what it is now that people know what it's going to be called.
they're just going to do away with whatever that movie.
Yeah, it's just going to be taken
Cancel
out.
it.
They're like, man, their idea was better.
They're
than
like, "You're
ours."
going to buy it."
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
true. But seriously, like I think the longer you announce something, same with like movies, right? Like the Marvel schedule is planned out to like
Yeah.
2021. So now like people like it kind of, sorry if you haven't seen Infinity Wars, kind of takes the fun away of
Yeah.
Infinity Wars because you know what movies are being announced.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it
Coming
is.
out
It's
of-
true.
But then you also come up with these expectations of like you think about it longer. Wouldn't it be fun if they did this? What if they did this? And then
This Infinity
when
War
they
that
don't
just
do
came out,
this- Yeah.
like, I'm glad you mentioned that. Like, this Infinity War that just came out is going to be, like, the least rewatched one down the line. Like, after the next one comes out, no one's going to rewatch this one that just came out.
I
Probably.
disagree.
You think so?
I think Age of Ultron. I haven't seen Age of Ultron a second.
That one definitely is
was-
forgettable.
I think that was like the worst one.
Yeah.
I know it was necessary because it kind of it brought Vision in. It was like
Yeah.
the Vision origin story, but it's like
That's
the
a
same-
very good
the
point.
same movie where they bring Quicksilver and they kill him.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? Like
Like, it's just, like, I mean, I feel like the second Infinity War is going to be more popular of a rewatch than the first one.
I believe it. Yeah.
Because everyone knows what happens in the first one, and nothing really gets solved.
No,
It's halfway through a problem in the first one. So the second one, like, people are going to come back. People are still probably going to die in that second one. You know, like, I bet you they're going to resurrect someone, and then that person's going to die again in that movie.
It's like Overwatch with
Yeah.
actually reses someone.
Yeah. Which is a great segue into my second video game topic, Ben. Thank you. I didn't even have to coach him.
I'm just that good.
He's winning me over, folks. Diva short. They released a Diva short,
finally.
and it is very well done.
You like it?
I loved it. Did you watch it,
I
Ben?
watched it.
I played it on my stream, so people that watch the streams regularly, the whole thing was played on my stream. Like, I was like, wait, like someone in the chat said, hey, there's a Diva short. And I was like, all right, we're pausing this game and we're gonna watch that together. And it's super cool. They like delved into her character more. I won't like talk about it. This isn't like a long topic, but like just they delved into her character more. She was on like a mech team, and they like released all the other people in the team, and like one of the other people, and they're all like streamers gone world saver kind of people. And one of the other characters is another girl called, instead of Diva, it's Demon, like demon.
So they're all D dot something.
They're not all D dot something. Only those two are, because well, they said in the lore that they came from the same stream team kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they might be like rivals now, kind of thing. So a lot of people are saying you can have this whole lineup of mech characters, and one could be like offense, one could be defense, one could be a tank, one could be a healer. You know, they could totally do that, and everyone could pick a character from that, and like you could have a whole team that it's just the mech people. So like they put a lot of character design in those characters, so that might be like something they're looking toward at the end. A new map is coming out too, where it's like
I saw that.
the hangar that's like their headquarters.
They're in the new map too, so
Yeah.
maybe that's why.
You know,
Just the whole mech team reminded me of when we used to all play in LAN parties and we all went.
it was a nightmare, and it was right when Harambe happened,
Yeah.
so it was like Harambe mode,
Yeah.
Harambe rage mode. Yeah, I just thought it was really well made. Like, it had more depth than a lot of the other shorts they've done. The voice acting was really good. She totally friend zones a guy in it,
Yeah.
which is pretty funny. And yeah, I highly recommend checking it out. Maybe we'll watch it after this or something like that. But really well done,
Cool.
really well done, kind of thing.
Check it out.
So I for some reason I said all my nice topics like right at the beginning.
It's gonna get real.
This is gonna get real dark
Okay.
for a while. What do you got,
You got
Jensen?
anything light?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I do.
give me your darkest one.
My darkest one?
Yeah.
Oh god.
I really don't have any like dark.
Okay, good. We'll
mean,
pepper in yours throughout mine. I only have 2 dark ones. Okay.
Do you think there's much reason to be? How picky can one be when ordering like slices of meat and cheese from a deli at a grocery store?
There's a lot of different factors to it.
Because I was getting my ham and my cheese for my lunch for the week, and there was this lady there that must have sent the person back to the deli slicer about 4 times because, oh, this is too thick. This is too thin. It's still too thin. Oh, that's way too thick. Can you get somewhere in between those two? It's,
Oh my god.
Like, no, the machine only goes a certain
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
It's, this isn't a piece of machinery that's in like a machine or fabricating shop. It's a deli slicer. It's not going to get down to the millimeter.
It's not a laser.
How do you know what you want? Like, you can't replicate that
Yeah.
every time you go. So
Exactly.
it can be too thin and it can be too thick.
This
That's
is a
about
great
it.
topic. I
That
love
is-
this topic.
That is about it. The guy when he was about to walk over to me to like show me the slice, like, hey, is this okay? Because this place must get it all the time. People are like, no, that's he turned away from his slicer, and I instantly went, that's fine. Just
Yeah.
whatever you do,
Yeah.
I'll take it. It's going on a sandwich, so I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
It's all going into my mouth, and it's going to be pulverized by my teeth. I
Yeah.
really don't care the thickness of it. It doesn't bother me.
If
The
it's
only
too
time
thin-
I don't care about thickness.
That's right.
Yeah.
If it's too thin, just add an extra little bit more. If it's too
See,
thin,
right?
Too thick, just
If
add a
you
little
order, if you order a pound and a half, it's gonna be a pound and a half, no matter how you slice it.
less.
Oh, the way I look at lunch meat, and this is like, my parents didn't fight a lot. 75% of their fights,
This basically means they fought about lunch meat.
75% of their fights were about lunch meat thickness. Because my dad's gonna hate that I'm talking about this, because I know he's watching. But
At one point,
my mom's gonna love that I'm talking about this. I hope they're watching it right now. I'm expecting a text
Are you
message.
about to take your side in your parents' fight?
I'm about to take a side here. My dad sends my mom to the grocery store and then complains how the thickness, and she tries so hard to get it right every time, just so she doesn't have to hear him talk about it. you know? And he's like, different types of meats. Like, he likes an assortment of deli meats. He likes his chicken cut thick. He likes his ham cut thin. Like, and it's hard to remember all that shit. Same with, like, there'd be, like, cheese that's getting cut. You name it. Like, the way I've always looked at it, my personal opinion, devoid of all that, is I don't like it too thin. It could be whatever thickness, and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. As long as it's not, like, this thick.
The
like,
thing is when it goes on a sandwich, because the slice is so much bigger than the bread, you're folding it no matter
exactly.
what. So it doesn't really, to me, it never really matters.
I don't like when it's too thin, because when you pull it, it rips. And then you got these, like, pile of, like...
Yeah.
But it's still time. At the same time, it doesn't ruin my day.
No.
You know, I'll make it work kind of thing. Like,
the deli was extremely busy when I was there. And at that point, the employees should just be able to be like, you're holding everyone else up.
Yeah.
Like, come back later.
It's got to be totally frustrating.
It's got to be.
What do you do with the meat that's too thick now? It's already cut.
Well, they'll cut like a sample and be like,
Yeah.
is this okay? Before
Yeah.
they cut all of it. So that's what it was, is this guy had to keep walking back and forth to show a lady, like, a slice sample.
And that's just more time that someone has to spend, like, putting themselves in the dangerous situation of dealing with a meat slicer. You know, like,
dangerous.
they're unpredictably dangerous.
I know.
Sometimes something will slip, and it'll take a thick slice of your hand off, you know?
Cuts meat, and you're
Exactly. We're made
That's
of
you.
meat.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, you know?
So, I don't know.
I love that topic.
Not a great topic, but when I was
think
standing
I think
there,
it's
I
great.
really just wanted to be like, are you fucking serious? I'm being held up because of this shit. I know we've talked about this
That's
before,
an etiquette
like,
over easy right there.
Like, I know we've talked about, like, wanting to stick up for people in the service industry. Like, if a customer's getting a hard time, like, the person working can't say anything because their job depends on it. But we can say something.
Exactly.
I don't get paid by fries, so I can
We're
say
not
whatever the hell I
shills.
want.
Yeah. What are they going to do? Write a Yelp review about us? No.
Who gives a shit?
If they
There's
do,
a guy
then they're
in
an
this
idiot.
Fries that talk shit on me. Don't go.
The other customers are bad. They attract bad company.
The biggest thing you gotta complain is about your deli meat's thickness. Living a pretty good life.
Tell me about it.
Or it's a bad life.
I'm just thinking.
Or that. Or just complain about everything in your life.
Because everything's bad.
Deli meat's good. Just enjoy it.
We've always explained that as being like a vigilante, like you don't have any tie to the place, so you just go in there and stand up for the people that are working there. But what if corporations started hiring people that just wander around the store, like looking for upset customers,
Sticking up
to
for
just
their
talk
employees.
shit to them?
I'd do that job.
That's a genius.
I'd quit my job to do that job.
A fixer.
It's like a secret shopper.
Yeah.
But it's like a secret heckler,
Like people going around minimizing problems for the corporation. It's amazing. I don't know. I just thought of that.
It's funny that you
Write that
mentioned
down.
because I actually just saw that the other day. I was at Safeway and someone was like, "Oh, this is a lot cheaper at Fry's," and I was just at Fry's like 2 days ago, and I know it was like, let's say, I know for a fact it's not. You're out of control.
Yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Exactly. So it's almost worth like having someone on the payroll that's just like when you know it's gonna be really busy and you're like kind of understaffed. You know, don't put another guy in the slicer. Have a guy in plain clothes, undercover, just calling people out for being jerks. People would abuse that quickly though. Like it'd be like someone will slip and fall and be like, the floor wasn't wet, I saw it. It'd be like a witness, like in an insurance report. There was no wet. I saw like 5 wet floor
That lady
sides.
spilled that milk on the floor.
I
She's
saw
there,
it.
so-
I saw the whole thing.
Plus, we saw it. We all saw it.
That's just insurance fraud waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I like that topic a lot, Jensen.
Right.
Don't undersell your topics like that, because when I say I have bad ones, I mean it.
I went some that are dark.
Yeah,
When
some
are we getting
sad boy topics now, right?
We could do a sad boy one.
Yeah,
they're
let's
they're
do
more serious than
There
they
were
are
a lot
dark.
of smiles in that last one. Let's bring it down.
They're more serious than they are
Let's
dark.
crash the Chudcast.
You gotta go smile to.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this one too long. But the Molly Tibbetts situation, you guys know about that?
Who?
That you guys haven't heard about that?
No.
It's big political news right now. So this girl was out on a jog, and that was the last time anyone saw her.
Oh, she was like abducted by somebody.
And it was a white girl. So it's important.
Yeah.
Like people are
pretty
trying to
one,
fix
too.
it. A pretty white young girl.
college.
From a
College
wealthy
student.
area, wealthy family.
And she was
Well,
also liberal.
Yeah.
So
And she's in Iowa.
Yep.
she's basically a perfect human
Isn't
being.
Iowa like a swing state?
I think it is.
Every year.
Every year.
4 years.
Yeah.
And no one knew where she was.
Mhm.
You know, people thought like, oh, she got kidnapped or murdered or
All ran away.
they had nothing. Yeah, they had nothing. Well, I think they were like, I don't know all the details, so don't quote me on it. But they did like a lot of interviews, a lot of
It
like,
was a neighbor's door, like his doorbell camera.
yeah, you know, people found out that they found the guy that they thought did it, and they asked him about it, and he's like, yeah, I did it. And then he showed them where the body was. And he put it in a cornfield, put some corn on top of it, and the woman was a bleeding heart liberal, you know, very like immigrants are good, all this stuff. The guy ends up being an illegal immigrant that does it.
Okay.
So you got
I've kind of heard bits and pieces, but
so you got old people on the right that are saying like, see, there you go, build the wall. You know, like they'll kill you no matter what you want. And but everything I saw about like when they interviewed the guy, just because he's a legal immigrant didn't have anything to do with it. He's just a psycho, like a normal everyday psycho. Because like he said like she was jogging and he started like jogging next to her just to be near her, and she was like, "Hey, go away! I'm gonna call the cops." And then like he said like the next thing he knew, he like looked up and his hands were bloody and like he doesn't remember doing any of it. Like one of those things. So it's like just a nut job.
Yeah.
You know.
that's the thing I don't get about all the Make America Great Again people is they act like this wall is going to stop crime, but we have citizens who are the same way.
Yeah.
Like we should figure out how to stop all crime and then get to minimizing the different pools. You
Exactly. Know? That was just I look at it as it's just like a freak thing. It could have happened to
So
anyone.
bizarre, though. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, it happened. Remember in San Francisco? I think it was last year. That girl she was just like chilling on like the boardwalk in San Francisco, and an illegal immigrant shot her, and then I think they let him go or something.
Yeah. But it's not helping the illegal immigrants' cause necessarily.
It's driving us further and further apart.
Yeah, which is what
They want.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
By they, I mean the
government.
Mexicans. I hope no one finds this podcast one day.
Hey, hold on. Since you mentioned the Mexicans, I got something I need to ask you about because you're more in touch with the Mexican culture.
Viva la raza.
Yeah.
You know?
Do in Mexico is stand-up comedy a thing?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was at a customer site yesterday making a delivery, and they were listening. You know, all the guys working there are some kind of Hispanic or something, you know, and so they're listening. Whatever they're listening to, it's in Spanish.
Yeah.
And it sounds like stand-up.
Yeah.
But none of them laughed at any point while I was there. So I was like, do Mexicans even... Is stand-up comedy a thing in Mexico?
It very much is.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever been to a country... Like, when I was there, I never really noticed how much, like, they value entertainment. Yeah. And, like, they basically think of movies and TV and stuff the same as we do. Like, they have...
all about entertainment is their number one thing.
Like, entertainment exploded there the same time it did here. Like, they have their own, like, movie studios that have been around forever and, like, legendary actors and stuff. So it's a huge part of their culture. Okay. And, like, they're some of the funniest people I've ever met. Like, they have a lot of comedians there. So
it's probably just a not funny stand-up comedian, which they also have.
Or maybe it was just background noise or something.
Something else.
Yeah.
It could have just been... It could have been, like, some church sermon.
I know what you're talking about, though. Like, depending on... Doesn't matter what the voice is or, like, what language it is. It's that, like, tone, the delivery, the cadence, that, like, resonance of being the only one talking in a room kind of thing, and the pauses for stuff. And it would sound like comedy no matter what.
It was either stand-up comedy or a lecture of some sort.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
Don't they have... So if they have the Spanish movie studios, because they'll dub over English movies in Spanish and play them. At least they do on like Telemundo and stuff here. Why don't they do that from Spanish studios, dub them with English or subtitle and bring them here?
They do. They do. That's the thing. I went and saw this movie
Pan's Labyrinth doesn't count.
They do. You just don't hear about them. They don't advertise them.
Really?
Pan's Labyrinth is like the biggest one to ever do it. But you go to a movie theater out here, you like look closely because you might find some that are like in another language. Like if you go more downtown and everything, they have screenings of movies that you've never heard of. It's just when you go to the movies, you know what movie you're going to see.
Right.
So, but I've gone to 2 movies that were foreign films at like a Harkins. Oh. One was this one about this legendary Mexican comedian called Canteen Floss. Canteen Floss.
For a second, if y'all don't mind.
All right, that's fine. Ben, hop in. Ben, time to shine. Canteen Floss is this legendary comedian, like hung out with Frank Sinatra, like huge. He was in Around the World in 80 Days and everything. And this movie I saw was a Mexican movie about his life, and it was all in Spanish, but I saw it here. And it was an amazing movie. I highly recommend it.
Interesting. I know Netflix, or not Netflix, Harkins does a lot of like
exactly
showings where I know if you go to the movie early enough, they'll be like, hey, on Tuesday nights, we're doing like, or Thursday, they'll do throwback Thursdays during the summer. It's like $5 and they'll
I like saw one about like feral cats and everything. Like
I think I've actually seen that documentary.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, I think I saw that on Netflix or something.
It's like the life of one of the cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have seen that.
With voiceovers and everything.
Yeah.
We saw it at a theater as well. So those kind of like underground movies and everything, they're out there. It's just like I feel like there's so much, like we're such a like interconnected culture here, but like if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't see it. You don't need to see it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out. Frank was saying that there's some like Netflix stand-up specials that are in Spanish.
I've seen some that are like most of it's in English and then some of it's in Spanish.
Yeah.
There's this one guy, he's like a bigger guy with glasses and the whole thing's in Spanish, and it was like hilarious. But it has subtitles and you can understand it. We're still talking about movies.
Oh, okay. That was our PR rep. He told us to stop talking shit on the Mexicans.
Cartel's coming for us.
We just like praised the Mexicans for a long time now, so we're all good. I think we're back. I think we're back.
Okay.
Ask Frank and Dream Squeeze if we're back or not.
The Mexicans hate us still.
But yeah, I just think it's like interesting. An event can happen and people use it to progress their own agenda.
Yeah.
And
it's never. No one ever really cares about.
At the end of the day,
happened.
it would have happened.
They just care about their.
Similar things happen all the time.
Choose because it almost backs up their narrative of why this is bad and why this is good, or vice versa.
But
find arguments for both sides.
that guy would have killed someone no matter what country he was in or from.
Exactly.
And
white people kill white people all the time.
Mm-hmm. The way it should be.
That's right.
But yeah, it's. I just thought it was worth. It's like the most topical. I was thinking about the other day is like when the first season of the Chudcast, we talked about school shootings like almost every podcast.
We did.
And
that was rough. That was hard.
And it's about.
Are they just trying to get us to quit the podcast?
And it's about to be
giving us this shit to talk.
And the best thing is, it's about to be school shooting season. School started back up.
The best thing.
That's why I was thinking
the
other day, like it was like a week ago, I was like, man, there hasn't been a school shooting. Oh yeah, it's because there's no school going on right now. Now that school's back, then we're going to get into more school shootings again.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about it.
I know, I don't like talking about those. It's sad times. All you edgy kids out there, just put the gun away.
Yeah.
What do we got going on over there?
Wow. That's really what I'm thinking too, because you said the best thing is school shooting season started. About to happen.
If anyone takes this, it's called the Chudcast. If anyone takes anything I say seriously in here, take a serious look at yourself in the mirror and think like, why am I like this? Because it's all, I obviously don't believe a lot of the stuff I'm saying on this. It's just like
we're like Alex Jones.
It's just for entertainment. Like I'm going for that
like
shock value. You guys know me. I feel like I'm pretty nice.
Hey,
I wish I was what Frank says.
I feel like I'm pretty nice. I don't have these like, I don't want there to be school shootings. If anyone really thought I wanted school shootings to happen, I don't want to talk about it on the Chudcast. We're talking about it right now, and one hasn't even happened yet this year.
Dream Squeeze isn't offended, so.
Dream Squeeze is never offended.
No.
She's an angel.
We
love. That was off.
No,
I should ask Jensen how he feels about that. No, it took the chat in a terrible direction. I'll talk to you off camera, Jensen, about it.
Next week.
We'll see if I'll let you know about it and see if it's physically exhausting to me even think about it. So I'll see if you want to talk about it next week. It's about cannibalism. We'll talk about it next week.
Is it like eating pieces of somebody and then using stem cells to regrow that piece?
Definitely not, but that'd be cool.
That's how we end world hunger.
Closer to me.
Just eat each other and we'll regrow the pieces.
That's all.
I've solved it.
Not just using it to make more food. You gotta cut something off of someone. Know your sacrifice to the cause.
The leg is the meatiest part, so...
If we tried it out, like, that'd be, like, a good hypothesis. They say, like, you get addicted to eating people. Like, it's, like, one of the most addictive things. It's, like...
bullshit.
You think so?
I think if you didn't know you were eating it, you wouldn't get addicted to it. I think it's the taboo is what's addicting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
You're doing something wrong.
I think that's what it is. I don't think there's anything in human meat that...
People say it's, like...
That's addictive.
You can't stop eating it after you eat it.
The hunger.
Yeah,
the hunger, yeah.
People who would try it and know it are already, like...
Maniacs.
All about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're like, yeah, this is
They went into it knowing they'd enjoy it.
Exactly.
And then later become addicted to it.
A big part of was there a ghost over there?
No, the movie's going on. It's over.
The thing of this week is because I was so low on topics, I wanted to I put on Instagram. Jensen's not on Instagram. Okay, that's why he doesn't have. You don't see any of his social media stuff anywhere. But yeah, it's not for him. You know, but they have a feature now where it's like like your Snapchat stories kind of thing. You could post that, but also you can ask people a question and they can submit responses to you. So I said, like, what do you guys think I should talk about on the Chudcast? And I got a lot of weird responses, but I got 2 responses from people that weren't my dad and about 10 responses from my dad. And I could tell he's just trying to keep the spirit of the show alive, trying to keep the ball rolling. He asked a lot of weird questions that, like, we could really go a long time on, but they aren't really Chudcast questions. Like, for instance, and I'm going to tell you all of them, but we don't have to talk about all of them.
Okay, we don't have to.
The topic is about potential topics from your dad.
This is potential.
This topic is about the cutting room floor topic.
This is messages from the peanut gallery, aka my dad, hater of badly sliced meats.
Flip-flops.
This is not the first one he sent me, but it's like one that will kind of paint a picture for the rest of them. What effects has the Byzantine Empire had on the impact of postmodern society?
Oh my god.
What?
Jensen's like, dude, we're talking about that right
It's
now.
like, well, the Ottomans took over, and like, no, we're not going to talk about that. Like, I'm like, Dad, this isn't that kind of podcast. I'd have to do some, like, his topics are not good because they require us to do research, and we shoot from the hip.
I think he's probably thinking, you 2 idiots wasted so much time when you were in school. do some learning now.
Exactly.
I'm giving you homework.
He had a good one. He's like, turn of phrase. We've talked about turn of phrase before. Like, Americans love their phrases and everything. He's like, phrase will start one way and end up being something else. Like, he gave me 2 examples, and one was it was originally, bold-faced lie?
Yeah.
It was originally bald-faced lie.
Okay.
Bald people got offended.
I think so. And then also he said, butt naked. Mm-hmm. Originally it was buck naked.
Yeah.
So I feel like wherever you go in the country, there'll be people that still say it the original way.
Yeah. Probably closer to its point of origin.
Especially with
I'm guessing.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure in the South they say buck naked a lot more than they do here.
Yeah.
But, like, with that one specifically, I feel like someone just misheard it and thought they said butt naked, because your butt's out when you're naked.
Yeah.
Butts out. Can I get some butts out in the chat, please?
Emojis.
Can I get some peach emojis in the chat? But that one makes sense. I think buck naked, like, I mean, where did buck come from? Is it a reference to
Bucks are naked.
I know, but is it a reference to that, or is it totally away from that?
I don't know. Hey, I was just thinking about this yesterday. I didn't want to talk about it on the show because I didn't think it was very. I don't think we had to. But do you know where the origin of calling a spade comes from? Because I don't know.
I think it's the tools.
I know it's probably has to do with the tool,
Mm-hmm.
a spade, but I was just trying to think, what was the origin of this?
I'm assuming it has to do with like, you
Like, did
know,
someone
hard
call-
labor.
Did someone call a spade a shovel and then they're...
Or a spade
I don't understand.
clover.
I think it's independent of there being two words for. If Minnie's in the chat, she will give us a full rundown. She's like the perfect fact checker on these things. But, I, in my opinion, with doing no research, I would say that it's independent of the word shovel.
Mm-hmm.
Like there being two words for a spade. I feel like it's like you got your whole wheelbarrow for a wheel. I call it a wheelbarrow my whole life. It's wheelbarrow, and that really messed me up when I learned that.
I don't believe
Wheelbarrow. It's not barrel.
Is it coupon or coupon?
It's coupon.
How do you know?
Because there's an O first.
I believe it's coupon.
There's an O before the U. So it's coupon.
So how's
Like crouton. You know,
So
you don't say
we
crouton. You don't. No, we're talking about croutons right now. You don't say crouton.
Do you though?
I don't.
How do you know?
Have you ever seen a whale? Do they really exist?
You know who says crouton? People in the homestyle buffet line at the salad bar. I go croutons. Oh, they're all out of the mini French fries. I need some croutons.
That's a good assumption.
Anyway, but a spade is spade. I would assume that you had a variety of different, you know, accoutrement of tools, and someone was just like, just call a spade, like it is what it is, kind of thing.
I guess.
It's just funny how language takes a life of its own.
I think that's a pretty American thing.
I love phrases. They're so much fun.
You know, it's amazing that someone said it once and then it just
Took off.
takes off.
I remember the first... We might have even talked about this in season
We've
one.
talked about we've talked about phrases before.
I remember just a couple of years ago I said you can't swing a dead cat by the tail without hitting, and then like everybody in the room thought I made that up.
People,
And I was like, are you dumb?
every
Like,
time
You've never heard of swinging a dead cat by the tail?
I think it's like a total, like in Arizona, people just don't say it because
Probably more of a Midwestern thing.
I think so because but I've seen it in like movies and stuff. I feel like every time I say it, I have to explain to someone what I mean. That phrase,
Yeah,
and I say it
exactly.
all the time. Like when something's like, you can't swing a dead cat in this town without hitting that, you know. And it's like, it's just supposed to be something that
you have something against cats. Why are you swinging cats that are dead?
We've talked about this, I think, because I'm getting some flashbacks. It's just something that's so like out there, like who walks around swinging dead cats. But the length of a cat, I've definitely talked about this because I think I've made this exact same argument. But anyway, the length of a cat is not that far away from you.
Especially when you start thinking of the phrase, it makes sense.
You know,
Yeah.
so
It means you're surrounded by something.
Right,
Yeah.
there's a ton of it.
Yeah,
or something.
it's in abundance.
Yeah.
But I think it's just when phrases change and they have the same meaning, but they change. It's just because someone heard it wrong, and they started saying it that way, and the phrase still makes sense.
Yeah.
So why, you know, it's like, well, my grandfather said this, and it's like, well, it just depends on where you're from, I
I've heard
guess.
of a similar phrase like you can't spit without hitting blank. Or
Yeah, that's the
Or
same.
maybe it's like
It's
Yeah,
the
'cause
same
you can only
thing.
spit about
That's the-
10 feet,
right. So
maybe,
maybe it's
on
like
a good
that's
day.
like the West version of it, because in Old Western now it's
Well, even cleaner than that, there's like, you can't walk 10 feet without,
Yeah.
you know, like, that's like the schoolyard way of saying it. And then there's like the bar way of saying it. You know, there's different phrases for each one. But, so I thought that was a pretty good one, Dad. Thanks, Dad. Colin just said Dick's Shepherd.
We're not talking about
Flat
it.
out.
Move on.
No punctuation.
Move on.
No capitalization. Dick's Shepherd. What?
not happening.
And,
Nice try.
I don't think you know who either of these people are,
Okay.
Jensen, so I didn't really want to bring this one up either, but he said, who would win in a knife fight, Friedrich Nietzsche or Schopenhauer,
I don't know
who are both, like, psychoanalysts.
Oh, okay.
They're like philosophers.
Are they?
They're like
old-
turn-of-the-century
old- turn-
philosophers.
Turn-of-the-century?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I said that I don't even know that much about Schopenhauer, but I feel like he would win because
Give me the spelling.
Nietzsche's the one who came up with life is meaningless. There's no point to anything. It's a nihilist.
It's very influential for today's world.
So I think he would not. Oh yeah, big time. So I think he would not care enough to. You see it in there?
So I got Friedrich Nietzsche.
He didn't care about anything, so I feel like he wouldn't care enough to. He'd be like, whatever, I'll just die. I think that's how he would go at it. So I think Schopenhauer. I don't know what his philosophy is, I should have done research on my way here or something, but if he cared about anything,
He would care about more.
or like, if he cared about self-preservation or anything, he would care about more than Nietzsche, I think. Nietzsche's like a German philosopher, from like the early 20th century, I think. I have a big Nietzsche book. I've never read it though, but it's a fat book. It's like this thick.
I don't know.
I don't know
I was
either.
going just by image.
Nietzsche looks like he could fuck someone up.
Nietzsche has a brawler mustache.
He does have a brawler mustache.
He looks like he's picked up a knife off the floor and held it to someone.
Well, that's the thing, and the fact that it was a knife fight made me think like, well, I think they're both German, but Germans love knives and fighting with swords. They love doing that. So, in their time, both of them probably, because I think they both grew up in affluent families. They probably fenced, so they would know how to fight with a knife, because that was huge in Germany at the time.
And also, from the pictures I saw, it looks like Nietzsche was taller, and more of your vitals are up high. So
that is a good point.
So I have one question. It's a question I don't know if I've asked you guys it before. I've asked a lot of people. If you were in a cage fight, just a normal cage, with someone with your exact measurements, same height, same weight, same reach, everything, and there's two weapons, whatever you picked, your twin would get the other. It's a fight to the death between a 6-inch knife and then a baseball bat, a wooden baseball bat. What would you choose?
Knife or a baseball bat?
Knife.
Baseball bat.
I'm team knife.
You can knock a knife out of someone's hand
No.
with a baseball bat.
No way.
The thing with
In a fight to the death, you get one swing with that baseball
so
bat.
a baseball bat, you can see a baseball bat and the trajectory it's going to take, and also once you swing it, it's hard to counter swing away. It's really easy to close in on another person.
Yeah, but you can get stabbed 1,000,000 times before you put someone out of their misery.
But if you're close enough to stab, is the baseball bat really going to do anything?
You don't have to swing it, you don't have to be Joe DiMaggio. You can give it the butt of it, you can block with it. You can get pretty creative.
I don't know. I feel
The
like
1-2 punch, you shove them with it and then swing it with it.
The only reason I would consider the bat is because you have a really good chance of hurting yourself with a knife.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can't really hurt yourself with a blunt force weapon. You have to be the target of that weapon.
And you can knock someone the fuck out with the bat.
Maybe, but you get one swing, and then the person with the knife is close enough.
True.
They're going to win.
I think my goal would be to keep distance and try to knock the knife out of their hand.
I feel like if someone
And then
also, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of a knife. I'd be really afraid to get stabbed.
I think with adrenaline,
adrenaline kicks in, you can get stabbed a ton of
no,
times.
but I think if the adrenaline, you can get hit with the baseball bat too. Maybe not a
Not in the head though.
Okay, but
which is the
head
target
easy
for
to-
the. You're not going to be swinging at their gut or anything.
I think
You're going head only.
What else we got?
You don't like that? I think that's a good topic.
I mean, it's like a
Shit.
good, this is my answer. Here's a brief thing why I'm not willing to
I
get
thought that
into
was pretty good.
the nitty gritty.
I looked up Schopenhauer while you were talking about it, though, and I still think he would win, even though he doesn't look as much of a fighter. His whole philosophy was about having will and striving. So philosophy alone, and they're philosophers, I would say Schopenhauer would win.
Well,
Fair enough.
The chat is
Let's go back in time.
The chat is decidedly Team Bat. So
Team Bat, that's what I'm talking about. They're a little biased. We talk every day.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
That's fine.
How many people are watching right now?
I'm watching. Kamikaze Kid just joined up.
Excellent. Good to have you here, Kamikaze Kid.
Frank is Team Bat. John is Team Bat. Frank, wrong. Sorry. About you.
John looks like the kind of guy that's probably hit someone with a bat before.
Yeah.
You know, and the knife, the best argument for this is the last thing I'll talk about, Jensen. Don't worry. The knife argument, I think the best thing for it is that it's in a close quarters fight. If it was in a field or something, bat every day,
I was
all
thinking
day.
like UFC.
If you're in the Terror Dome or
Thunderdome.
the Thunderdome, you know, and you have to duke it out, knife is
Now, if the
is
bat
good.
has a point on it, like some nails or
Nailed
something,
bat.
I would take bat every day.
Sure,
but
no, this is
'cause then you can
standard.
cleave
It's
some
just a
meat.
standard. I don't know.
Is the bat wooden or aluminum?
Wooden.
Wooden? That sways me a little more towards bat.
Yeah.
If it was aluminum, I'd say fuck that.
You couldn't
No
knock
way.
someone out with aluminum bat, I don't
I
think.
think you'd be swinging pretty fast.
Nah, you have to really get it going. It's not blunt enough.
No, aluminum bat would still hurt, but I would feel much safer with a wooden bat.
Yeah.
It would bring the feel of the wood grain in the palm of my hands and bring out some old school tribal feel.
Yeah.
and I'd be ready for some clubbing.
I really don't want to talk about this one. He's like, never listen to someone that says the phrase, studies have shown. I'm like, Dad, just stop. You know, that's such a dad phrase, though. Like, I get it. A lot of times people back up their studies, though.
Yeah, studies have shown. Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. If you're gonna say studies have shown, if you're gonna say I know there's studies out there that say this, you should sort.
You better have some credentials.
Source the exact study.
Yeah,
that's what you should be doing.
Because a study can come from any collegiate.
Yeah. I could do a study right now.
My studies have shown.
My studies, yeah.
Oh my God, my studies of watching Alex Jones have shown.
What else?
This is a good topic. I think you'll both have good input on this one, and it's why don't more people love college football?
I know
why.
Why? There's too many teams, I think, is a big one.
I think that's a big part of it.
I think that's a big reason.
We've talked about this before,
I think that's
too.
a big reason why more people don't like college football.
Partly that, and it's a subpar product, too. Why would I watch
I disagree.
the amateur version of it when there's the professional?
No, NFL is trash.
I see it as two different games.
NFL is slow.
No.
Yeah.
College is fast.
Slow. It's faster
and
than
exciting.
The people in the
because
NFL
everyone
are
is
fast.
faster. It just seems slow.
The different style of play in college, two teams could have radically different styles.
I prefer sitting down and watching a college football game over an NFL game.
I think it is the fact that
I
there's.
have more loyalties to NFL teams. Like
I'm more likely to go to an NFL game.
I'm a diehard Bears fan, but
It's got the cup.
yeah, I do have
right now.
But I find the college football product to be more entertaining. I just find it. There's something about it. The rules are never discussed as much in college football as they are in the NFL. Like, the announcers spend less time talking about what the rules say in the rule book. You know, when something gets called on the field, it just that's it. They call a spade out there, right?
Yeah.
I think it's better because it has less of a spotlight on it. I think it's better because it has less of a spotlight because the NFL has to change the rules all the time because everyone's got an opinion about everything.
They don't have to. They're just trying to appeal to the audience that already left them. So they're stupid.
Yeah.
So if this was like the 70s, though, the NFL would be much better. But the current state of the NFL, I think it sucks.
Yeah.
The game, I don't think
they are. You're totally right, Ben. They're catering to people that have abandoned them.
Well, they're already the biggest sport anyway. So what does it matter?
I know. Well, that could change.
I think
Globally, they're the smallest sport.
Yeah, but in America, what sport would take it over here? Maybe. I think basketball is the best chance.
Basketball is the best chance.
But even then, I don't.
But basketball's also fixed.
Yeah.
Not that the NFL. Not that the NFL isn't fixed. Because the NFL is also fixed. Mm-hmm. MLB is not fixed.
Yeah, but no one cares about baseball.
You take that.
Shit. I don't remember that last discussion being about a knife versus a hockey stick or a knife versus a, Yeezy Boost, I remember it being about a baseball bat.
The sport itself is they're also trying to change the sport to an audience.
That sport's huge.
It is, but
that sport.
It's a fraction of.
The thing about baseball is there's 162 games a year.
Yeah, and the games.
That's why it's so spread out.
Well, the games themselves is like on a Tuesday night. Do you really care about the
exactly
Royals taking on the?
Their attendance would be huge if they had less games.
I agree.
You can't do that though.
They can't do that.
They won't do it because of the money and the records.
Exactly.
When people always talk about sports, shortening the basketball season, shortening the baseball season.
Those records would be unreachable. Yeah.
It's, if you take away X amount of games.
Mm-hmm.
We had this discussion, but then you could just do current era.
Yeah. It's fun comparing the current era to the past.
They do that in baseball all the time. It's like, who's looking at those ancient records?
In baseball, back in the day, the fastest pitch was probably like 93 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
And now we have people throwing 103.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when you're comparing hits between two players, one of them pitched in the league was 95, and now the fastest guy is 105. It's not comparing apples to apples anyway.
Yeah, it's but going back to college football, I think college sports in general are usually more entertaining for me. I like college hockey a lot. I don't like college baseball more than MLB.
Yeah, it's that aluminum bat.
I don't like that. Everyone's got a cage on their face. Mm-hmm. Don't like it. But I don't know. I'd like to see. I think Jensen made the best point that it's all about there being too many damn teams. there's too many different,
if somebody asked me why do people not like college football as much as the NFL, I would say that'd be my first answer.
Yeah.
There's too many teams.
Too many teams.
People, you can't keep up with it. Once you understand the breakdown though of the different conferences and stuff, then it's a lot easier to follow.
That requires some like more knowledge.
Yeah.
It's like especially if you didn't go to college.
Yeah.
If you didn't go to college and you worked in a factory, you're gonna like the NFL.
Well, and also because people go to college for 4 years, a lot of times 3. The players don't stick around as long.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people get invested
That
in
legacy.
players.
Yeah.
So that might be another reason why the NFL.
There's tons of elements.
Well, and also too, even if you are a player, chances are you're not going to play as a freshman. Probably not even a sophomore, anyways.
Could be true. Yeah.
So by the time they're playing, they're juniors and they're good and they're gone for.
Players don't care about their legacy in college too. They're more. I feel like
more focused on getting to the end.
If they sucked in the NFL and they were good in college, then they care more about college. But like, I'm sure Johnny Manziel's on his deathbed is going to be touting his college achievements, not his CFL achievements. So I think because they don't get paid.
They should though, but that's a whole.
They should. That's a whole nother topic. They should.
I could argue for both sides, to be honest.
I could too. I think I'm fine with where it's at right now just because it's that dead heated for me.
Team paid all that.
No, fuck it.
Why?
They get paid going to school. You know how much that money is?
It's cost the school $0. Just one extra body in the class.
Shit. The school has to keep their eyes on them when they're stealing crab legs and shit the whole time.
A lot of those a lot of those football powerhouses, they don't expect you to really do anything at school anyway.
Yeah.
So
they're making so much money off of your likeness.
That's the thing I don't like is that there's so much profit on these people who work
the
for
TV
free. It's
deals,
like the blood donations.
Yeah. Back to the blood donations.
Yeah,
that if
themselves make so much money both in sponsorships and donations and everything off these kids that are getting.
There should be ways they can make money
Yeah.
without being directly paid by the
You can't even
NCAA.
sign football cards with
Yeah.
your own name.
Yeah.
One guy had a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and they had to shut him down.
Exactly.
Yep.
It should be. I mean, I'm not saying they should pay them hundreds of thousands of
No,
dollars a year.
it's something.
But like, you can't even have a job and be a college athlete.
Yeah.
And making no money. The kids should be able to make some money.
Yet they're still like buying kids cars under the table. They're still like
Yeah.
they're still paying.
They're
Some
still
of them
paying
are
DeAndre
getting
Ayton
paid.
$100,000.
But then when they-
Let's say there's some of them are getting paid.
Then when they get caught, though, it's like,
Yeah.
it's just a whole.
It ruins
scandal.
the program for-
Exactly. What does it matter?
Yeah.
If Reggie Bush wants to take a car, Reggie Bush is going to get a car. Okay, don't punish the kids on the team who are still there. Had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Like the whole this is not paying, but like the Penn State thing. Like those poor kids that were on the team then. The team was banned from like everything for like 5 years. Like, oh well.
Yeah.
Now I'm committed to this school for these punishments that I wasn't even here for.
Or like when what's his name, Pete Carroll was at USC, got in a bunch of trouble,
Yeah,
and
it
he
was a
just
Reggie Bush thing.
and
He's
he
gone.
he just
Bye.
ditched,
Peace.
and everybody else took the shit for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, same exact thing. So why even have that open for conversation? Like,
Or is that
There should be some source of they should be allowed to make their own money their own way. There should be some sort of entrepreneurship. If you can figure out how to make your own money off your own likeness,
sponsorships.
yeah, exactly.
If Nike wants to pay you, why can't Nike pay you?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like, that's up to the other company.
I don't think the NCAA or the school
Sure.
should be paying should be paying the athletes, but they should be able to go out and make their own money somehow.
Or if EA Sports wants to make NCAA football again,
Yeah.
and somehow put together likenesses for players and stuff. Oh my god.
Yeah, it can't be the school paying them because then different kids are getting different money, and that's kind of weird
Yeah.
to me.
Unless it's just a flat fee.
Still,
I don't know.
you pay like your star the same thing as it's too much, man.
I don't know.
They don't need money.
Socialism.
Their lives are set. Okay, they've got it figured
Not
out.
at all. Very few.
Enough. If they're smart, they have their lives set.
And you can't get a free
They
beer.
capitalize on their They capitalize on their opportunities. They have a good life ahead of them.
Yeah.
But it's like what's going on in Ohio State right now too.
Well, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, there's just controversy, man.
Yeah.
Like I asked my buddy Drew, shout out Drew if you ever watch this. At work, he's like, Drew Riley.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I just doxed you, Drew. But he's like, talking about Urban Meyer. I'm like, the flask from science class? The Erlen Meyer flask? I was like, yeah, he got that flask made for him and everything, and now he's causing all this trouble. No, that's a bit of a science goof there. There's another murder I want to talk about.
All right, let's talk about it.
This one's fresh. I just heard about it today.
Oh.
This, it's in Colorado. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but it was in Colorado. This guy, like, this woman was checking in on her friend who was, like, supposed to be getting, like, ultrasound, and she's like, oh, I wonder how it went. I want to check in on her. Mm-hmm. And, like, she couldn't get a hold of her friend. And, like, she went to the house. And no one was home kind of thing, but her car was in the garage.
Yeah.
And she, like, tries to call the husband. The husband doesn't answer. She starts to worry. She, like, asks the cops to just check in, you know?
Yeah, wellness check.
A wellness check. You know, like a good citizen would do. Cops show up, and, like, the guy's not there yet, but he leaves work, comes home, and the guy lets the cops look around and everything, and all her stuff is there. Like, her shoes are there, her purse, her phone, keys, everything are there. You know, but she's nowhere to be found, and the kids are nowhere to be found. And he's like, well, when I left work, you know, they were all here. You know, I left. He works at, like, an oil company, and he had to go to work at, like, 5:30 in the morning. He's like, yeah, when I left, they were all here. And he's like, he told the cops, he's like, we talked about, you know, getting a divorce and everything that morning, you know, and he doesn't know where she is, kind of thing. So the cops are like, okay, maybe someone kidnapped her and the kids or something like that, or, like, maybe they ran away.
Yeah.
Something like that. They put out, like, all the feelers for it. Well, like, at the same time, though, the cops did not trust the guy. Like you shouldn't.
No, we just talked about getting a divorce this morning. There's red flag number one.
You know?
It's like Gone Girl.
Yeah, so, like, the cops are like, we know it's fucking him the whole time. Yeah. But they tell the public, hey, we're looking for these people. They, like, put the pictures out and everything. And, like, the news goes and interviews the guy. And this is, like, the main reason I wanted to talk about it. It is, like, the guiltiest looking interview ever. He's like, please, if you have my family, bring them home. I want to see them again. And it was like, I wish I had it pulled up, like, queued up. But I was like, this is the most, thought-provoking, like, this is definitely him. Yeah. I'm like, I saw it, like, I didn't even hear the whole story yet. And I'm like, he did it. He definitely did it. And the cops, like, took a drone shot over his work, and you could see, like, a clandestine grave near one of the oil drums.
Oh, no.
And they go to it, and they find the wife's body, and then they find the kids' bodies in, like, one of the oil drums.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're going to find out eventually, man. Like, it's a shallow grave near a work site where other people work, you know? And so the cops come and book him. And then he's, like, telling the cops, I told her we were getting a divorce. And then she started to, I left and then I came back home. And then she I caught her strangling the kids. Yeah. And then he was so frustrated that he murdered her. I'm like, you killed all of them. I'm like, you did it. I'm like, there's no way that,
said that she was
like,
one of the kids.
You're already a proven liar. Like, why would I'm like, and so he's getting murder 3 counts, like, the whole shebang. But, like, go and find this interview with this guy. I've never seen someone try to, like, cover their ass so poorly in my life. And I think he was banging someone from work or something.
This is Gone Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was like, it was all a big mess. I'm like, what a moron. Like,
here's the thing: if you're gonna,
have a plan.
My thought is, if you're gonna murder some people, you can't continue your regular life.
No,
you are a
skip
career
town.
Criminal.
Yeah,
and you have to leave.
It's a decision like that.
So, speaking of making stupid choices after, like, murdering someone like that, like, murdering somebody wasn't the stupid choice, but
I gotta go.
You're not in charge of this, Ben.
But
No, I'm just like,
I just thought this was funny. I was watching one of those, you know, dumb, like, true crime shows or whatever on TV where they talk about, you know, murders and stuff like that. And they were talking about this one that happened in Texas where a guy murdered his boss over, you know, like he was being let go or some shit like that. He murdered his boss, and he didn't try to go... Oh, something happened. Alright, but anyway, this dude murders his boss, and instead of trying to go back to, like, his regular life, he knew. He's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, you know? So he goes on the run, and they like 2 weeks later, arrest him in upstate New York because he's trying to go to Canada. Dude, you live in Texas. Why are you going up to try and get away?
Go to Mexico.
Yeah, go to Mexico. What are you, fucking retarded? And
One, they'll accept you a lot more.
It's probably a lot easier to get into Mexico.
You know how hard it is to get into Canada? Yeah. We're trying to keep the Mexicans out. The Canadians are trying to keep us out.
Exactly.
Smart.
You know, and the Mexicans are trying to keep the San Salvadorians out. You know, like it's a system. Like everyone doesn't want the people from under them coming up.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought that was dumb.
That is so dumb.
I mean, at that point, you deserve to get caught because if you're that dumb,
yeah.
Hey, I live really close to Mexico. I'm going to try and book it to Canada. Canada will extradite your ass anyway.
Yeah.
Mexico, they'd be like, we don't have the resources to find this guy. Fuck off.
In Mexico, you're now the richest person there anyway.
Yeah.
Our police won't even listen to us, so get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
They're not going to find this guy.
Exactly. So it's like people that commit these crimes have no plan.
No, they're idiots.
No direction to it. I mean, they're idiots for even wanting to commit the crime in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't expect much from them. Exactly. If they're going to even kill someone, it's like you're a moron already. So,
that's no secret.
But I have no more topics. I did want to talk about today is the Logan Paul fight.
Actually, Victor, too bad he's not here. He asked about that earlier.
Zach just texted me, big friend Zach, big fan of the show, just texted me that Jake Paul beat Deji, which is what I predicted. Huh. It is YouTubers box now, Jensen.
Oh, okay.
That's the new thing. That's the new thing is they box each other. And Sarah, you can come on over, Sarah. Sarah's here, people, but the YouTubers fight each other now. That's like the new thing. And Logan Paul is in a boxing match tonight on pay-per-view.
Weird.
Yeah.
Would you pay to watch that? It's
No.
$10.
No.
Yeah,
$10 is too much. It should be free.
They should pay me.
I would maybe watch it for free.
Yeah,
I don't even think I watch it.
You mean two unskilled, untrained people?
They've been training for a while.
So they've been training?
But it's amateur training.
Still,
yeah.
I wouldn't watch it.
I agree.
Dude, I won tickets to go to a live boxing match at a casino, and I didn't take the tickets.
You wanted to be someone you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Boxing tonight, you had the.
I didn't even pay to see the Mayweather McGregor fight.
Yeah.
You know,
I watched it at.
I watched it for free.
I watched it at Zach's house.
But I didn't pay for it, and given the opportunity, I still wouldn't pay.
Isn't it funny how much we as people are just like, oh, there's like a fight going on. It's like a big
Group
event
up.
Still, you group up. You order a ton of food.
I love that that's still that way.
Yeah, like either.
I would be sad if that was gone.
It's not really boxing anymore.
No.
Still,
like it's the spirit of
the McGregor UFC
yeah.
fight. Like I want to owe something that.
Yeah.
Night. Like, it's just there's something about like watching
getting everyone together. Yeah, and just watching pugilists get together.
Good ones.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see. I want to be able to root for someone.
Yeah.
I can't root for Logan Paul,
yeah, exactly.
Paul or KSI. Deji a little, but not really.
I wanted Deji to lose. I said Jake Paul's going to beat Deji, and KSI is going to beat Logan Paul. That's how it's going to go down. And then they're going to have a rematch, and it's going to be the exact opposite.
You're halfway there.
Yep.
And the trilogy to finish it up.
I wonder how Scarce did in that fight. I'm going to have to look that up, people. But, yeah, I've got nothing else, Jensen. What do you got?
I still got a couple.
Let's go,
to
boys.
talk about.
Let's go.
So, you know how there's like political theory and stuff and like economic theory where all you sit around do is just sit around and you actually like talk about why you think things are a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Is there can you go to a college somewhere, or do you think you could go to a college somewhere and like take classes on traffic theory? Because like I've been thinking real deep about
transportation is a degree you can get in transportation.
I don't know, like city planning.
I don't know if there's like a theory for it though. Like,
how it starts,
or how to fix it.
Because here, the reason I bring
philosophy
this up
shitty drivers
is because I leave roughly the same time for work every morning, and the past 2 weeks it's been abnormally busy on the way to work for no clear reason of what I can see.
Maybe some snowbirds coming back.
I don't know.
It's still a little early for that.
And it's just. But the thing is, I'm on the road at like 5:15 in the morning. I don't know how many people are bringing their kids to school that early.
Yeah.
But it's so weird.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, granted, yesterday, like, it slowed down, but it was also Friday, so a lot of people probably took the day off.
Mm-hmm.
But just the past 2 weeks, for some reason, at the same time, it's not, like, slightly heavier. It's night and day. Because I used to be able to just go all the way down without, like, hitting my brakes. and now I'm stopped at a couple points during my trip.
I've noticed
So I want to get into the business, or not the business, but I want to get into the practice of doing like traffic theory. Like I think this happens because of this.
Traffic theory.
I mean, we have like technology to track that better than ever.
Part of traffic.
I've always just wondered how on a freeway you can be no accidents and anything. Sometimes though, you just stop 100% your brakes.
Yeah.
How?
It's just people not knowing where their exit is and trying to get over.
But even
and
then, if every car, if you're, I don't know, who stops completely to start that line?
it just happens, man. It builds up.
I've thought about that. You'd all have to be on like the same like.
You think you're stopped.
Though.
You think you're stopped, but if you took a really zoomed out of it, it's like a wave. It's like stopped and started, and
yeah, I know.
one person stops, everyone behind them stops, and it's just like a wave of stoppage.
That's why
and sometimes it lasts like a minute of being stopped.
That's why those people who go actually pretty slow in rush hour, but they're continually moving, are the best things for traffic.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who aren't just stopping and starting, and starting.
If people were slow in the right lane and fast in the left lane, everything would be solved. Yeah. But people like to be slow in the left lane for some reason, and it gums everything up.
And people trying to pass on the right, that's another problem.
Or the people who think they're being nice to let someone over and they just slam on their brakes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, just ease off the gas.
Yeah.
I have another thing I want to bring up is I think if you get in a car accident during rush hour and it's your fault, you shouldn't get a ticket, but you should be open to public shaming.
Why don't...
Because it is like, because every time I roll past somebody who caused an accident in rush hour, I just want to roll down my window and be like, learn how to drive, assholes.
Look what you did.
Yeah. I think it is like, I don't think anyone would stop you from yelling at those people.
No, I've done it before. The cops like shake their head and stuff when you yell at people who've just been in an accident. Yeah. I don't know why it's distasteful.
I think, but I think that every time I drive past one, I want to yell like, "Thanks, I'm late now. Thanks to you, because you don't know how to drive."
Yeah,
you're testing.
Yeah,
and it should. But I'm talking about not just that, because that should be a thing already. If you pass somebody who caused an accident, you should be yelling at them. But there should be a day set out where they have to stand there and get publicly.
I can't agree with this.
I would be all about it.
Bring your rotten vegetables, yeah.
Shave. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're like dragging them through town.
And you can like look it up online, like which accident at which time, which day, and when that person's gonna be out for public. So you could just get it out.
Man.
Accident shaming day.
You son of a bitch.
Oh no.
Get your eggs in
That's
jail,
great.
boys.
That's great until you accidentally get in an accident and then you're.
Hey, that's when you pay your debt to society.
I've been in 2 accidents, and they were both my fault. I do not want to experience.
That's why Mike's not
exactly. I don't want to experience National Shaming Day. National Shame Day.
I agree.
Would you
See,
drive better?
thank you, Sarah. Sarah, get in on this.
Would you drive better if there was a shaming day?
Yes,
Probably.
100%.
Problem solved.
I think she's caused more accidents than anybody I've ever met, though. So.
Sarah, I think you're the okay driver.
Debatable.
I've always felt safe when Sarah's driving.
Another thing I want to get in on is the idea of being in competition with somebody who's in the same field as you but works for a different company. Because I drive for a living, and so when I'm out on the road, I pass some of our competitors who are also out making deliveries and stuff. And
how can I throw a wrench in the works?
No. Hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. My bosses make a big deal about it, like, oh, those motherfuckers over at blah blah blah, and like, you know, oh, if you run into these people, give them hell and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You're not loyal enough to.
No, I don't get. Why would I give a shit? The guy has the same job as I do.
They're not paying you fuck you money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're in the same boat, man. You know.
Now, if they paid you $5,000 to fuck with that guy's truck,
I think that competition is saved for the people who wear the suit and tie and who make the big money off of the sales.
They're in the war room.
Yeah. I don't care. You know. Probably to my company,
it's almost like they're trying to install some.
Yeah.
Weird loyalty or like unnecessary loyalty.
I hate it when because I have a couple of coworkers who are that way. When they pass the other drivers, they're like, "Oh, those bastards over at it." You know, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have any job openings. That company did, so they work for that company.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, who fucking cares? Ben's smirking for some reason.
I just like this idea. It's just funny. It's like
I just think it's dumb.
Who is that passionate about your job?
Yeah, I don't care.
To like hate like.
I hate going to work. Why am I gonna, why?
Man, that smells good.
Why would I get all this weird
Smells good.
loyalty?
Yeah, totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
loyal, who's loyal to their employer that much? Honestly, I have
You
I have
can't,
I have
because they will
very little-
replace
Do
you.
you think there's people from Fry's going to
Safeway
Safeway and pulling the carts out of the corral and be like, put a wrench in the works here?
Bruising all the peaches.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like I'm loyal to where I work, but not to like I don't
You-
shit
would
on
you go
other.
to another
I do
place
as like a
and, like-
joke, like in a funny
But
way.
you're also not like corporate though.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The corporate corporations.
Yeah.
They're gonna get their money either way. So
Yeah.
Why are you asking the pawns to
Yeah, exactly.
get so passionate?
They're thinking
I'm
like-
expendable at the end of the day.
They're
so.
thinking like, well, maybe this person will be carrying the torch one day, and we want them to have that
They
same.
don't think that.
We're just numbers to them.
Yeah.
As a boss of people, I think that about my employees sometimes.
Well,
We can't all be you, Mike.
Yeah,
I know that.
Like I can't be a manager at my company.
That's
unless I
true.
Go, unless
We
I
have
go to
very
college,
different industries.
Let's
Yeah.
go college and you fuck with at least 30 cars.
Yeah.
In your
Yeah. Yeah.
rival dojos.
Jets. You see jets in the middle of the night unscrewing transmissions off of their fleet, defleeting
do
them. It's like
Slashing
Pearl
tires.
Harbor.
Well, and also because like I'm a commercial driver, like I don't want to mess with another commercial driver. I know like that's their livelihood.
Yeah. You
So
know,
if I
Unhitched your trailer.
yeah, if I mess with the company, it's not going to hurt them. It's going to hurt.
who knows? You might want to work for that other company sometime.
Yeah.
You know.
I just thought it's so weird that they're all trying to instill passion against like another company. It's like, why should we care?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why do you why do you care? Why does my boss care?
Yeah.
They don't see any of that money.
Yeah.
It all trickles down from like the CEO who got offended by something the CEO of the other company said at the smoking lounge.
Stuff with my wife.
They got like a contract that the other people didn't get
Yeah,
for
who fucking cares?
shipping. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Like, Ben, you're more of like an office guy. Do you ever like think that way about other like rival companies that you like, other schools or anything like that?
At my old job, when I was working for an agency, I would look at the other agencies and be like, they're doing such a better job than my company.
That's another end of the coin, especially if you don't think that you guys are doing
Yeah.
it right.
I want to be
Like
there.
that's a great element to it too, because it's like if you don't think that your people are even doing it right, you're like, I wish I was at those other people.
Like, man, that looks so much better over there.
Yeah, I'm not
And then
gonna
I got out and it was better.
I'm not gonna fleece
So,
our own
honestly,
stuff up.
I don't care.
I'm not gonna fluff these
I
feathers.
think whenever a company, I mean, people, whatever, but if a company has either a vendetta or an attack against another company, it's a little petty.
It's unhealthy
The
for
one who
sure.
actually attacks the other.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with like the Samsung and Apple commercials.
Yeah.
When Samsung is constantly being like, well, Apple sucks.
Yeah.
It's like,
They're punching up.
you punch them up and it looks a
Yeah.
little desperate.
It
just
does
looks
look
bad.
It's like
desperate.
both
Like,
of those
just how-
companies. Both of those companies have their customers. Why?
Right.
You
Just,
know,
like hype yourself up. Don't
Everything
like, lower
sells
the
it.
company down.
All that stuff sells itself.
Or it doesn't.
So-
Well, it doesn't sell itself. Like as someone who has like an iPhone,
To me, it
for the
does.
Samsung Apple one.
I've had an iPhone.
You don't
before,
give
and
in to
I
advertising.
know I won't go
You're
back.
not as,
So
but as someone who's in the advertising,
You're not inclined to advertising.
that's true.
I think if you're in advertising, I think it just a little bit of just like
Yeah.
desperation. If your marketing campaign is then to attack another person's product, it's in
Yeah.
the same vein. Instead of attacking them, why not show the features of yours? Why not do this or
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
You know, like for like your truck, like the trucking companies or whatever, it'd be like we can get your delivery out to you faster,
Yeah.
and like show that. Don't be like, well, these other guys.
Mhm.
You know, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's unhealthy.
Luckily, we don't run any advertising.
Plus, you're putting
Sure.
you're putting a target on your back for them to do it to you.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you slip up, then it's like, wow.
They're gonna capitalize on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like with the notes caught on fire.
But I don't think I've ever really been influenced by advertising that much,
It's
to be honest.
I will
I
say
get that.
advertising works, but yeah,
I get that.
very rarely do I like see a commercial. I'm like, let's leave right now.
I feel like we were like
For Taco Bell, I have for sure.
that's yeah.
food
But it's
is
like
different.
something you
Food's
already
like a
know you
craving,
like.
It's not though. It's the same. It's the same sort of idea though.
Yeah, but it's something with Taco Bell. It's like I already know I like Taco Bell. I trust the brand of Taco Bell, and it's usually because they're doing something new. And it's
Now
my
I put
first.
Fritos in there. Now I put-
That's kind of weird. You could put French fries in a Crunchwrap Supreme now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Let's go to Taco
you could
Bell
put French
right
fries in any item now. How weird is that? which is a good idea.
It is.
Gives it because Taco Bell is like a California taco kind of style. Now they're like going toward more of a like traditional, Baja taco.
You say that, and then they introduce French fries, which is like the most least traditional Mexican food.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true at all.
Potatoes are, but they already have potatoes.
Since the inception of Mexican food restaurants out here, they always had French fries.
Yeah.
You think
That's
That's what I'm saying, though. But in Mexico, they eat fried potatoes the same as we do.
All I'm saying is usually with advertising, the idea behind advertising is to make you aware of the product,
Yeah.
make you aware of the service, make you aware of something. And maybe it'll try and convince you to do it,
Yeah.
but more often than not, it's just to let you know that it's an option.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, when it's brands that you already know of, like a Snickers and stuff, or Gatorade, like does Gatorade or Coke really have to advertise?
No.
No.
I don't
but
think
It's
they
good
do.
you to crave.
It's more just to make you think about that thing again, just to think like, I do kinda
It's still
want Coke
around,
right now,
yeah.
actually.
So when you're at
You know?
the store to buy one,
But yeah, like Taco Bell is not trying to be like, do you want good fast food? You should try us. It's like, no, try our new item. This is making you aware of this new product.
I feel like
Or of it making you
a lot
aware
of the stuff I
sale.
like, there's no advertising for. Like QT, there's no advertising. LaCroix, there's no ads. Like these are all things that I like to try. I like to try different things and compare and contrast what I like.
Yeah.
But I like to try everything. I don't like to not try certain things. But I don't need an ad to open that door. It's just like I see it on the shelf and I'm like, let's try it,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I've always thought that since I was a kid. I'm like watching Nickelodeon. I'm like, I'm not gonna buy these Ninja Turtle toy set.
I don't have any fucking money. I can't
Yeah, I'm
buy
like,
that shit.
my parents will never buy me
I
that.
don't know. Sometimes when I saw
I'm
a
like-
game or a toy on Nick, I was like, I want my mom and dad to buy it.
You know what I mean? Like
I wanted it, but I knew better than to ask for it.
yeah, like commercial. I just zone out during commercials because I know they don't offer me anything.
Yeah.
I'm watching TV to watch the show.
You don't realize that you are, but you are.
It hasn't affected me financially in any way yet.
I think it has, and you just don't realize it.
What do
That's how smart it
I
is.
like? Think of. I'm not a big consumer
Did
like
you buy
that.
your car that you bought?
My grandmother worked for GM. We get a discount on it. I've never seen a GM ad and thought, hell yeah, Chevy, let's get
Well,
it.
It might just be like they tell you,
You know?
about a promotion that they're having, and you're like, yeah, I'm getting a new
Yeah,
car.
but it's not what happened.
You know.
It might be, but it's not what happened. Like, I have an Alienware computer. They don't have ads.
Yeah, they do.
I haven't seen them.
They're usually more online though.
I think Dell bought them anyway.
Yeah, they do.
But, like, I feel like the things I have in general, I have a bowl of a watch on right now. The only connection, advertising-wise, would be from Zoolander. When he's like, it's from the bowl of a watch catalog. The hand model.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Advertising. They paid for that.
They did pay for that.
Boom.
So that
Boom.
well, I didn't buy
I
this watch.
win.
This is a gift.
The
So I didn't
marketer.
buy this. I didn't buy this watch. It was a gift.
Did you ask for it?
No.
Well, then there you go.
It could have been anything. I would take it.
That's fair.
I'm trying to think of something. But I feel like I get all my clothes at the Goodwill. All of them.
Well, Mike, we're not all just like you, okay?
I feel like Jensen's like that too. I feel like very independent of advertising.
Yeah, you guys also said the Venn diagram. You guys are the trash people.
We are the trash people.
We're just poor.
Yeah, we're poor, Ben. That's what I think it all comes down to, Ben, is we are poor. Great point, Sarah. Sarah's the next guest of the Chudcast people. That's a very good point. We were raised to not want things. Or to hide things that we want. And to distrust anyone that told us we want something. They're liars.
I don't know what's best for me.
Yeah, exactly. I also like vintage stuff. I've always liked things that don't need to be advertised anymore, like you said, like Coca-Cola and stuff like that. Like things that are
They've cemented.
Coca-Cola still advertises, but there's things that are like so in the
Realm of
like certain razor blades and stuff like that they don't need to advertise anymore. I get those things. Like I like the legendary stuff.
Like, when's the last time you saw a commercial for a Corvette? They sell themselves.
Yeah.
Well, but for those
But-
top luxury brands, the products, there's some products that just don't.
But you see the Chevy
But-
Cruise
but,
commercial
But
every
like,
time I
but
turn the
like
TV
when,
on.
When like Audi has a bunch of commercials for
Yeah.
their luxury cars and stuff.
Yeah,
So
but
does
it-
Jaguar
but
and
even
so
then,
does
that's still a
Mazda.
lower-
And
That's still a lower class than a Corvette.
I'm just saying there's some there's some products out there that don't need advertising anymore because they've cemented their place
as a
in
trusted
society.
quality brand.
Well, sometimes it'll be the dealers themselves, or
Yeah.
because there are like the Porsche dealer out here has a commercial like
The local dealers is
Local dealers is different though.
yeah,
But
because that's more of a
but usually
business.
That's what those things are. Like if you look at like
Yeah.
I see a lot of.
They're selling their product.
there's a couple, but they'll
Like,
tell you about the new product, the
No
deal
Bull.
that they're having. So that way, if you like,
I feel like I see more commercials for just put out by the company than
It's a
I
good
do
mix.
local dealers.
It's a
Like
good
all
mix.
those new Chevy commercials where they have that like weird guy like, who do you think won all these awards? And then you have like all the zoom commercials from Mazda.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Advertising works. I remembered that shit.
See, it does.
It's in your brain, but I don't think I've never made a
I've never
purchase
bought
because
a
of it.
Mazda.
It's not necessarily all. They're not all supposed to. Different ads have different purposes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
That's true.
Like the whole Taco Bell thing is totally their purpose is to let you know that they have this new product. Maybe you want it, maybe you don't. Cars are such a big purchase. They're not going to try and convince you we're the best car company. They want to say we've won awards. We're a good car.
Yeah.
We're having a sale right now. So if you're interested, come on in.
You'd be losing
You know,
money if you did.
So it just depends on the product, though.
Like I have a huge combination, and I think Jensen is more than me. But like we also like don't like things if they're popular. Like if they're like
Very true.
if they're big and everyone has one, we don't like them.
But even think of like small things of like gum will advertise.
Yeah.
In reality, it's a small $1.50 purchase. Doesn't matter. But
That's really weird
but
that gum has advertising.
Gum-
I buy it based usually on like
Because
a package.
Some people do, but some people like remember Five Gum. You remember their
Yeah.
advertisements because they were so.
I love the
weird.
meme.
Really, how do you care about like gum? But
Yeah.
the fact that they made it a visual way to represent
Yeah.
how gum chews.
Makes you feel.
See,
Makes
I've
you
always
feel-
just
and then you just remember the orbit, the just clean feeling,
Yeah.
or whatever like that.
You
makes
limp liquor.
Aware of the product. Next time you'll be standing in the line, you'll buy it, and then you're like, oh, this is really good, and then you just keep buying it. It's your new gum that you buy
Yeah.
for a while until they release a new flavor.
Like I like Trident.
I always just buy Wrigley gum because of Wrigley Field, and I've always. Been that way.
And guess who? What they pay for that sponsorship?
They
They
did.
probably did at one point, and they probably no longer.
I don't-
You think they continually
I
pay
actually
for
talked
it?
about that the other day. Of like, how much do you think Staples pays for the Staples Center? Because the Staples Center is like a marquee venue in the world.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to be a big place.
That's a great
Staples
like.
is just a company, though. Like they're not.
There's a lot of stadiums that, you know, they're known for their name. I don't think Wrigley probably pays that much. I don't think they do.
probably now.
Maybe.
They can't change the name of that stadium, and Wrigley knows that. I'm sure there are balls in their
Like
court.
what the hell's Comiskey Park called now?
I don't know.
Yeah. See,
If they change the name of that stadium, there'll be like public outcry. People will be like, Chicago Cubs, give them the naming rights for free.
What was the old Yankee Stadium one named?
Yankee Stadium.
I think it's always been.
It's been privately owned, I think.
Oh, and they named it Yankee Stadium now.
It's still Yankee Stadium.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just different purposes.
Yeah.
I've never quite understood like naming rights.
Yeah.
Or when you're like watching football and it's like this halftime show brought to you by Snickers. It's like
Yeah, it's kind of dumb.
You
that's
can
I feel
monetize
that's-
anything.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's a waste of money. Or the Kia halftime show.
Literally no one.
Powerball power play.
Right.
The
yeah.
Chapman Chevrolet penalty kill. I remember it though.
Damn it!
But I don't buy it. I'm never gonna go to Chapman for Chevrolet. I go to Midway
You know
for
what
my
it is? That
Chevrolet.
probably is just straight up just like the more you hear it,
You
the more
think
think about it.
it's
So if you ever did want to buy a Chevrolet, now you're going to go to Chapman for it.
yeah. But I still go to Midway.
Yeah.
And if I didn't go to Midway,
And
I
why?
would go
Because they got
to.
the best prices.
It's because they got the best prices.
So they say.
I don't care. They've always taken care of me.
15 minutes from anywhere, isn't that their slogan? Midway.
What's the
15.
or the Shea Company? We know exactly where they are,
Yeah.
when they're open, and who's
Shane
we have a
Company.
friend.
Yeah.
Now you have a friend in the diamond business.
Yeah.
You know he goes there and looks at the diamonds himself. Yeah, he says it. He told me.
Where's he buying from? Is he buying from them?
He buys it from straight from the source.
Wow.
Straight from
Yeah.
the diamond cutters themselves.
Really?
Yeah.
Tom Shane
Yeah.
does that?
Bell Road in Tacoma.
Why was the
1
jewelry-
mile south of Bell.
Why was the-
Scottsdale Road in a couple?
Why was
Yeah.
the jewelry store man taken away in an ambulance?
I don't know.
Because he was on Scottsdale Road in a coma.
Oh my god. Like Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Peterson Johnson.
Yeah. All right.
Rough.
I
Was this
need
a topic,
money.
Or did this transition from?
I need money and I need it now.
From advertisement somehow. From something.
We were talking about.
I think you were talking about.
We were talking about brand loyalty.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's another thing is I'm super brand loyal.
Same.
Like, I didn't even think about this. Murray's Pomade. I don't think they've ever had a commercial. But
I think you'd put the company under if they spent money on a commercial.
the only time I've ever heard them mentioned in like pop culture was that Chappelle show when they're doing like a contest, and he's like, it's like, do you know black people is the contest, and like the gift bag that you win is like it's like a can of a lifetime supply of Murray's Pomade. He's like, and yes, one can is a lifetime supply. That's like the only time I've ever heard it mentioned, like in pop culture, in general. What's the chat think about this whole topic? I feel like we've been talking about it forever.
Talking a little bit of smack. Of course, Kamikaze Kid said he put the wrong number though, so he's close. He said 800-588-2300
300 Empire today.
That's what he said. Empire, and I finished it.
They have that. He's in Canada. They have that there.
I guess.
Damn.
It's the regional. It's an 800 number, so they probably just get your address and just shoot it off.
I wonder where in Canada Kamikaze Kid is. Cause
don't dox yourself, Kamikaze Kid.
Yeah, I don't. Just tell me a city or something. But when you live in Buffalo,
Hat, Saskatchewan.
when you live in Buffalo, you get a ton of commercials for Canada. Cause like
So close.
it's just the TV signals. You know, like it's a regional thing, and we're so close to Canada that we hear, like, I know jingles for Canadian businesses that I've never even been to. And my dad always has told me, like, ones that, like, they'll repair your, what's, like, a word, what's the Canadian word for couch? Chesterfield.
Pooch.
They're like, we'll fix your Chesterfield. And it's, like, a Canadian commercial. And, like, people in America are like, what are you talking about?
Never had one of those.
Yeah.
All right, they fix it.
Yeah. Chesterfield. And a napkin is a serviette.
He says he knows because they allow us to have American TV.
Allow.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome, Kamikaze Kid. They have a rule there where they have to have, like, on the radio, a certain amount of Canadian artists played in the mix.
Yeah, it's a lot of Guess Who and a lot of Rush.
Yeah, it has to be mixed in. They have a whole. They have people on their like billboard that you just never even heard of. You know, it's not just like the like Canadians we know. It's like they have their own stars up there that we've never even heard of. You know?
They have their own version of Big Brother that I watch.
It's cool up there. Like, media's cool up there, but I wouldn't want to... I like being here, and like any song from anywhere can make it here. Just Gangnam Style made it here. Yeah. You know?
The dances will made it.
Exactly.
Very true.
You telling me that the lyrical chops of Psy didn't carry that song to success?
I think it was the style, the sunglasses.
Oh, and all the cute girls in the music videos. That helped too.
It's true.
You know, that always helps.
It's true.
But yeah, I mean, I'm severely brand loyal to a fault sometimes. I'll go out of my way to find a QT to you know, make sure I get gas from there. I just like getting the gas from the same place all the time.
I go where it's cheapest.
Yeah. But do you have anything else, Jensen?
Yeah, I got one more.
Let's do it.
And then we can wrap up.
Let's do it.
So, gaining some traction right now. You guys have heard the cover of Africa by Weezer, right?
Yes.
I have not.
You haven't?
I know it exists. I've not.
You know it
actually
exists.
heard
Have you ever heard the original version of Africa by Toto?
Unfortunately, I have.
It's exactly the same.
It's very similar.
Okay.
For it sounding though, that's why I wanted to bring this up. For it sounding almost identical to the original, I still like it more than the original.
Really?
Yeah.
Bold claim.
See, that's the thing is I don't even think Africa is that good of a song.
Yeah.
I don't think Toto's that good of a band, to be honest. They're one of those rock bands that plays pop songs, so
They have some hits.
I don't think
is
they're
the thing.
But yeah, I like the cover more than the original.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Do you know
I never
that-
liked the original.
I'm not a big fan of the original either, but
Toto covered Hash Pipe by Weezer in response.
Yeah, I remember hearing.
I haven't heard it yet, but
I'm not gonna get on.
yeah.
If I stumble across it, but I just wanted to like see what you guys think. Like, what are some like cover songs that you think are done better than the original?
better?
Yeah,
That's a tough one.
I
I know some that I like equal to it, but I don't know about better.
I think the one, in my opinion, and I'm gonna catch like a lot of heat on this. The cover song that I think is better than the original is the Gypsy Kings cover of Hotel California, and it's all done in Spanish.
I do love that cover.
I think that is a lot better than... I don't even speak Spanish.
I love that cover.
But it's another one of those things where, like, I don't really even like the original Hotel California that much.
Mm-hmm.
And so the cover made it more fun.
I think that's a good choice.
Because, like, you can still recognize the chorus, even though it's all in Spanish. And it picks up really nicely, like, at the chorus. Like, it gets more upbeat, whereas like, the original Hotel California is, like, really, like, dreary and boring.
Yeah.
So
there's so many...
they spice it up, and I like that.
There's so many cover songs that end up being bigger than the original. Like,
Very true.
Tainted Love, Soft Cell, that's a cover song. That's probably the most covered song of all time, I would say. Tainted Love. Marilyn Manson did it. And he, like, covered...
Beautiful People?
He covered... No, that's just his song.
It was his?
Yeah.
He covered the Soft Soul version, which is a cover of the, like, 50s version.
Yeah.
So that's, like, I think that's the most covered song of all time. Or, like, you think of, like, Alien Ant Farm. Their biggest hit was a cover song.
Smooth Criminal.
It's their biggest hit.
Like, equal to...
Some people don't even know that's a Michael Jackson song, honestly. I swear to God, I feel like there's people out there that have only heard the Alien Ant Farm version.
What do you think is, like, one of the worst cover songs?
I know exactly the one I have in mind. I hate every time I hear it. Is the Disturbed cover of The Sound of Silence.
Oh, I hate that too.
I really don't even count it because it's so bad.
It's the worst cover I've ever heard.
There's like a Shinedown cover right now on KUPD.
There's one it's called Wolves for Zombie.
Yeah.
There's a cover of Zombie that some band did that I don't
know. That plays,
awful.
I hear it a lot, and I don't like it.
So a lot of the rock bands that are doing covers right now are bad.
My least favorite cover of all time, and it pisses me off because there are 2 sports talk radio guys in this town that say it's the best cover song of all time. It pisses me off. Is Metallica's cover of "Turn the Page" by Bob Seger. I think that's the worst cover song.
I'm actually just talking about that. Yeah.
I think that is the worst cover song of all time because it, like, changes the entire feel of what "Turn the Page" is about. Here I am on the road again.
Kamikaze has 2. His best, he said, is Motorhead's "Enter Sandman."
Oh, I didn't even know they covered that.
I haven't heard that.
Ugh.
He said the worst is Limp Bizkit's "Behind Blue Eyes."
Bullshit. Fuck you, Kamikaze Kid. Unsubscribe. Censor him.
And he said the Disturbed song is great.
No, what the fuck? Oh, another one I hate is
we love you, Kamikaze Kid. I'm just joking.
It's just a theme of the KUPD bands can't cover a song to save their life. I hate Five Finger Death Punch's cover of "Bad Company."
Bad Company.
That is
okay.
I can't say.
I used to like
I hate how he changes the lyrics from when it said "I was born with a 6 gun in my hand" to "I was born with like a shotgun in my hand."
6 guns.
He probably didn't even know what a 6 gun was. That's probably
I don't have 6 guns. I have 2 hands.
He probably didn't know what that was. What's a 6 gun? Does it have like 6 barrels?
People used to call it a 6 gun more than.
Because the song is like about being
God.
Well, the thing is the song's about, like, being an outlaw.
Yeah.
You know, so a 6 gun makes sense. Like,
or like I Fought the Law and the Law Won, they say 6 gun in that.
Yeah.
Like shooting people with 6 gun. I fought the law and the law won.
You know,
Five Fingers a lot of back covers though.
So
they make money on them.
On the contrary, though,
they covered that.
They did. Holy shit, they have done a lot.
Land of the Rising Sun.
That was really bad too. They
that
need to
one.
stay away from 70s rock.
I think they just did another one too. Coming Home or something.
Those are both by Bad Company too. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think anyone can cover.
House of the Rising Sun.
That's an older song.
No, it's not by Bad Company.
No, but they covered it, and
they need to stay away from 70s rock songs.
They just need
to cover their own songs, and hopefully they turn out. You know, that's what they need to do. They need to stick to their coloring books and watching their Vin Diesel movies.
Baby's first lyrics.
Like.
Gone Away. They did Offspring's Gone Away, according to Kamikaze.
Oh my god. No one should ever cover a Limp Bizkit or a Leonard Skinner song, in my opinion.
Yeah. I love Shinedown's cover of Simple Man. I think
it makes me want to just listen to the original every time I hear it.
Do both.
I think when Skinner recorded Simple Man, I don't think it was supposed to have as much feeling.
Yeah.
Like, it was probably just another song to them. And Shinedown really brings out, I think, a lot of the feeling that people
get from
that people have connected to the song.
I hear that.
So that's what I like about it.
I hear that.
If you listen to the original Simple Man, it's not, like, very exciting.
No.
There's not, like, a whole lot of, like, feel-goody moments. It's just another song almost.
But people felt it just from being in the time and place.
Connected to it because they identify with the song. And I think Shinedown covered it in a way to appease
way
the
people feel.
who identify with it. So,
No.
but the other day I actually heard, speaking of like the news, all the hard rock bands covering songs and doing a terrible job of it. I heard this wasn't Slipknot. This was just Corey Taylor. I heard his cover of "Rainbow in the Dark," originally done by Dio.
That could be good.
Or Rainbow.
Like
That'd be wild.
It was awesome. It was
really
so good.
Like a rainbow in the dark.
He did it so much justice.
Really?
That's a tough song.
I was really impressed.
There's not many people that can sing Dio.
I just thought of my favorite cover.
I mean, he didn't sound like Dio. He sounded like Corey Taylor.
Yeah.
But he did a very good job.
Did he make it his own, or did he try and stay to it?
It was a.
Did it have like
was,
that dee nee 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 nee?
Yes, but with like a heavy guitar riff.
Oh hell yeah!
So he found the perfect balance of like keeping
Cool.
his own, but like staying true to the original.
Here's my favorite though. I just remembered it was a cover. Johnny Cash's "Hurt."
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that is really
love
good.
that cover.
It's one of those ones where it's better than the original.
better
Because
than
I
the
hate
original.
9 Inch Nails.
I do too, and I could listen to Johnny Cash "Hurt" all the time.
Yeah.
That is a really good song.
You know, yeah, and that's I couldn't remember it.
Mm-hmm.
It is a good one.
I'm trying to think of one that like really sticks out to me that's not good. I love like
Hey, did we say fuck you to Kamikaze Kid for talking shit on Behind Blue Eyes by Limp
we
Bizkit?
got on him about
sorry,
it.
Kamikaze Kid, I don't know what to tell you.
Because that's how I feel. I love that cover. My dad, who hates Limp Bizkit, thinks that's a good cover.
I was joking. I don't think it's a good cover either.
I like it.
Because I am a huge Who fan.
I honestly don't know if I could hear. I can picture.
Behind Blue
I can
Eyes.
picture the song. but
No
who
one
was
knows
doing
what
that?
it's the Who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't picture Limp Bizkits at all.
It's
Doing what?
good.
Behind
I mean,
Yeah, I don't.
They-
Behind Blue Eyes?
they
No,
did.
they're
It's
really
it's
good.
in a respectful way.
They did a cover of Faith too. That's another good cover
Really?
they did. Cause I gotta have faith, faith, faith. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if I could touch?
That was like a hit
body?
too.
Yeah, that was like one
Cover
of their,
songs do well.
They
Of
do.
course they do, because people like.
They already know the
People are
song.
very set in their ways. They know the song. They don't
Yeah.
want to. They don't know if it's like, oh, I love this artist and I love this artist that combined it. Oh, this will be great.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're right.
There's band like when Ghost does their cover EPs though. You've never heard the song the first time.
Yeah.
And
Their
it's
cover-
it's so interesting to go back and like listen to the original after you know the Ghost song by heart.
Why
Why cover if
why-
you have Ghosts is also
That is
Yeah,
my favorite.
but it's because the
They need to
original
cover-
version sucks.
They need to cover "Burning for You" by.
I know. They need
Why
to do.
Night already?
They should have done. They should do like a whole like Blue Oyster Cult tribute.
They sound
greatest
just
hits.
like Blue Oyster.
Yeah.
They would do a really good job of that. Yeah.
Like I like Blue Oyster Cult more now because I think of Ghost when I listen to them.
Yeah.
And I loved them when I was a kid. I used to listen to a lot of Blue Oyster Cult when I was a
had never
kid.
drawn that connection.
Yeah.
But
They're
now that
like
you mentioned it,
burning for you. Like it's that like soft, doesn't have too much range. The vocals, easy to digest.
Mm-hmm.
Or like Don't Fear the Reaper. Seasons Don't Fear the Reaper. It's like a Ghost song. That was a pretty heavy song back in the day too. Like the
Yeah,
guitars
it was.
were heavy
my
enough.
favorite song on Rock Band to play. Too.
But yeah,
We still need to do a rock band night.
we do.
Yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. It's time to bring it back.
We do. But no, I think that's a great. I'm gonna like try to think up like one that I really love and one that I really hate for the next Chudcast. I think.
Chat, do you have a favorite? Leave
Yeah.
it in the comments down below.
Don't forget to like,
Comment.
comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Kamikaze Kid, don't forget to unsubscribe.
It's time to bring Rock Band back.
Yeah, But no, I think we're done for the day.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's another successful Chudcast. Now we might do the Chudcast out of anywhere now.
Yeah.
It's
In
totally
the back of a moving van.
it's totally mobilized now.
It's got a Wi-Fi
If we
on
had the
it.
power source, we could do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could do it from my phone. So if we find some outlets like at a park, I could do it there. We just need 3 outlets, people.
Okay.
That's all we need.
Well, just one. You just need a power strip, anyways.
Yeah.
True.
So
We need 1 outlet, and the world is our oyster. We can do it from anywhere.
too much power.
Yeah.
Power.
It has to be above ground, or else the electronics will fry. Like it has to be above water.
It's our one requirement.
No water. Can't be underwater, unfortunately. But yeah, so we might take this thing on the road. Who knows? We might. We're
Traveling
trying to think
sideshow.
of maybe some guests. You know what I'm saying?
Sarah's coming on.
Sarah's gonna be coming on. She has a lot to talk about, and yeah, I mean it could be anyone really. and then we'll get Broob. That's the goal.
That is the goal, is to get big enough to where we can convince Broob to get on.
I think
on the
we should set a goal for ourselves by the end of the year to at least attempt to contact him about it.
I agree.
You know, get more in the habit of it. I'm sure I can get him to download Discord. He'll do it for, I think, pretty low money. I shouldn't have said that. He's gonna be like, I heard what you said.
No way am I doing this.
Broob is the man, and we've always had good interactions with him on his Facebook page. So
Yes.
I think he'll listen to us.
Is that
But-
Broob now?
This is Broob.
Hey, I'll do it.
Broob. Hey, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
He's a mysterious fourth listener right now that we have.
But yeah, thanks for swinging. Oh, the shirts. Let me share the shirt.
Coming soon to a store.
Soon to
You want
trash can near
You
you.
want to look like this? You can too.
coming soon to a big cartel near you.
Oh, you found that in a trash can? Is that a No Walter shirt?
This is the shirt. Get it in shot as much
Look
as I can.
close.
It's a nice, sensitive colorway. Tannish, peachish color.
Yeah, like a
It's a
sand.
nice peach logo. Ben's wearing it right now.
Like sand that you paint.
Like
And,
sand paint. Yeah. You know how to paint sand, Sarah?
And you know, you can. I'm like really far away from the mic. You can
You can
wear it, and people will ask
can
you.
wear it, you can hang it.
People ask you like, where'd you get that, or what does that shirt mean? What's a chud? You know, and you'll have to explain it to everyone you see. So, I got a bunch of these made. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with them yet, though. Hand them out to people so far.
Line
This is a
dog
first
beds with them.
first issue. Yeah, exactly.
Cats will give birth.
Some,
on 'em.
for some
edition.
fire tinder, you know. This will be good. But yeah, this is a first edition.
As someone who's
Merch.
wearing it now, it's a good shirt.
Okay, well, you know, and like I've been thinking about doing like just Pain Train merch too.
I'm telling you, those conductor hats, those black and white conductor hat.
It'd be cool.
Sick.
I need like a logo. I need Yuki to draw me a logo.
There you go. Yuki. I know you're watching.
It's great having the camera right there. But thanks for tuning in today, you guys. I think we're gonna call it there, and tune in tomorrow for another just our normal live stream, and tune in next week for the Chudcast. We don't know which day it's gonna be yet, but we'll let you know as soon as we can. We'll see you guys. Bye.
Later.